Chapter 1621 Fang Yuan's Tribulation. Several months later, southern border. In a nameless ordinary valley. Rank 6 female immortal Ba Dao gave a loud shout as auras surged out from her body. She lifted her hands like she was bearing thousands of kilograms of weight, her face quickly reddened and her body started trembling in exhaustion. Quick, Ba Dao urged. A GU immortal who was standing at the side activated a killer move. This person was a young-looking rank 6 GU immortal from Tai clan. He was Tai Yi, son of Tai Ku Zhang. Red light spheres started rising up, suddenly with a loud sound, the spheres turned into a soaring red light pillar that shot towards the skies. But at this time, an old-looking GU immortal revealed himself. He was standing on clouds. With a wave of his hand, he suppressed this red light pillar. The red light pillar dissipated, revealing a 7-floored pagoda that looked like it was forged from bronze. A fire was quietly burning on top of the pagoda. Done. Tai Yi let out a breath of air, revealing a satisfied expression. Another beacon tower is built. So exhausting. Ba Dao breathed a sigh of relief as she sat on the ground, panting. The old-looking GU immortal slowly floated down. At the same time, countless GU worms gathered and went inside his sleeves. This was a small group tasked to build beacon towers. There were 3 people. Tai clan GU immortal Tai Yi was in charge of building the beacon towers, Ba Dao was supporting him, while the old GU immortal was in charge of setting up a formation to disguise the process. After all, the commotion of the beacon towers' construction was huge and could easily be known by others. There were still more than a dozen of such groups. After Southern Border's Righteous Path forces agreed to collaborate, these small groups rushed everywhere to build beacon towers. Beacon Tower is indeed worthy of being Tai clan's signature immortal GU house. It is truly unbelievable for a GU house formed from mortal GU to be able to transport GU immortals. The old GU immortal sighed while gazing at the beacon tower. Tai Yi helped Ba Dao stand and replied to the old GU immortal. The true terror of beacon tower is that the higher the number of beacon towers built, the greater their overall power. To reach an immortal GU house's power, there needs to be at least 100 beacon towers. Right now, the number of beacon towers in southern border is already over 1,000 and can transport rank 7 GU immortals. But to transport rank 8s, we needed at least 10,000 beacon towers. Many thanks for clearing my doubts. The old GU immortal expressed his thanks. Tai Yi and the old GU immortal glanced at each other and smiled. If it were before, this secret of beacon tower absolutely could not be mentioned. But because Southern Border's Righteous Path was uniting, the GU immortals' attitude towards each other was gradually changing. If we had a beacon tower near that tributary of the River of Time, our Southern Border Righteous Path could have mobilized our troops and saved my grandfather in time. Ba Dao mumbled in a daze while looking at the beacon tower. Ba Dao, we still have hope. Wasn't Yi Clan's GU immortal released by Fang Yuan? This demon Fang Yuan just wants more cultivation resources. The old GU immortal consoled. Tai Yi did not speak. His mind was, however, in a disorder. His situation was similar to Ba Dao. His father Tai Ku Zhang had also been captured by Fang Yuan. He was of course furious and hated Fang Yuan, but he had to admit that if Fang Yuan had not captured so many Southern Border GU immortals and made Southern Border Righteous Path feel pain, would Southern Border Righteous Path forces have united so quickly? Between comfort and pain, the latter was able to move people's hearts much more easily. Sometimes, Tai Yi felt this situation was ironic. Beacon Tower's plan had been Tai clan's dream since long ago, but it had come to fruition because of a demonic path overlord. Naturally, there was also another important reason, the impending Great Era. But regardless, Fang Yuan's actions had played a key role. Whoosh whoosh, the beacon tower suddenly let out a strange sound, even slightly shaking for a moment. What's going on? This sight immediately attracted the old GU immortal's attention. He frowned and looked at Tai Yi. Ba Dao also casted her gaze at Tai Yi. She had participated in building many beacon towers, but had never seen this scene before. Were there some flaws in the construction of this beacon tower? Tai Yi's frown was even deeper. You don't need to worry, this scene is not because of an issue with this beacon tower, it is because one of the beacon towers spread throughout the southern border has been completely destroyed. Oh, so it was like that. The old GU immortal slightly relaxed. Ba Dao snorted coldly. This scene was within the expectations of Southern Border's Righteous Path. Although the construction of beacon towers had obtained the approval of Southern Border's Righteous Path, Southern Border's GU Immortal World had demonic cultivators and lone cultivators as well. Beacon towers were under the control of Tai clan. It represented the benefits of Tai clan and other Southern Border super forces, which had no relation to these demonic and lone cultivators. It was extremely likely for a beacon tower to be destroyed by these GU Immortals if they discovered it. Investigate who attacked, we will kill them as a warning to the others. The old GU Immortals killing intent soared. This was one of the methods, discussed by the Southern Border Righteous Path forces, to deal with such matters. However, at the next moment, Beacon Tower's anomaly shocked the three Immortals. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. A series of strange sounds resounded for a while. The newly constructed Beacon Tower trembled non-stop like an epileptic patient. What happened? Does this mean many Beacon Towers are being destroyed successively? Ba Dao and the old GU Immortal once again looked at Tai Yi. This time, even Tai Yi was puzzled as he mumbled, "Strange, does this Beacon Tower really have an issue?" But at the next moment, their doubt was removed. The three Immortals' expressions changed because they had received astonishing news at almost the same time. The mad destruction of Beacon Towers was caused by only one person. It was none other than the nefarious and unpardonable demonic path overlord Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan has outstanding wisdom path methods. It is not difficult for him to deduce the location of these Beacon Towers. He also has fixed immortal travel and can move anywhere freely. It is not strange for him to be able to do this. Tai Yi's expression was gloomy. Damn it, that incompetent heavenly court, they actually let Fang Yuan steal fixed immortal travel. Ba Dao said furiously with clenched fists. The old GU Immortal was steady and cautious. We should return to our clans. Since Fang Yuan is moving about, it is not safe outside. Tai Yi and Ba Dao tensed up as they thought of Fang Yuan's methods, having no intention to stay behind. At the same time, Wu Yong, Kai Kuyu and other clan leaders were in an urgent meeting. Fang Yuan probably noticed the threat of Beacon Towers, so he is taking an early action to destroy them. Look, my clan's Beacon Tower has already made him feel unease. Tai clan's first Supreme Elder said. HMPH, just let him destroy. The construction of Beacon Towers is quite difficult and requires GU Immortals to personally do it. But they are only constructed with mortal GU, so their cost is low. We can just let him destroy them. Shang clan's first Supreme Elder laughed coldly, showing the aura of a wealthy force. Wu Yong, however, frowned. He had slightly more understanding of Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan is crafty, we cannot look down on him. I feel like his action has another deep meaning. It is not as simple as it looks. Wu Yong's words immediately attracted other GU Immortals' attention. One of them spoke. Would this be possible? Fang Yuan is going to undergo tribulation in southern border, and one of these Beacon Towers is extremely near to the location where he will undergo tribulation. So he took action and destroyed a large amount of them. It is reasonable. Quick, gather Wisdom Path GU Immortals to make deductions. As long as Fang Yuan makes a move, he will leave behind all kinds of clues. Right now, he is making a big commotion. We will definitely have more gains in our deductions. After a round of deductions, there were indeed great results. Southern Border Righteous Path obtained 3 locations which had the greatest possibility of being the areas where Fang Yuan would undergo tribulation. Quickly investigate. These 3 areas should be emphasized and guarded heavily. Similar commands were passed down. Southern Border's GU Immortal world moved with an unprecedented and united pace, all to kill their common enemy. A moment later, shocking news reached every Southern Border force. There was an unusual disturbance of heaven and earth chi in the 5 regional mountain range, and its range was extremely large. Chapter 1622, Besieging Fang Yuan. 5 regional mountain range. Zhen Shenguang's thoughts flickered. Fang Yuan's unbridled destruction of Beacon Towers caused a huge commotion. Even Heavenly Court, which had very weak influence in Southern Border, was able to detect it. Southern Border's Righteous Path forces had gathered many Wisdom Path GU Immortals and deduced 3 locations, which also included the 5 regional mountain range. While in Heavenly Court, Fairy Ziwei deduced alone but had found out about 5 regional mountain range a step earlier. Zhen Shenguang immediately moved towards the 5 regional mountain range. At the same time, all kinds of relevant information about the 5 regional mountain range appeared in his mind. This 5 regional mountain range was not a naturally formed mountain range, but was man-made. The person who could create such a mountain range was naturally not ordinary. He was rank 8 Restriction Path GU Immortal Daozu. This person had extraordinary attainment level and was called Restriction Expert. He had done deep research regarding the 5 regional walls. He attempted to find a way to allow GU Immortals to travel through the regional walls easily. Unfortunately, even until his death, there had been no progress. But this 5 regions mountain range was left behind and became a special area in Southern Border. Senior Thunder Ghost True Monarch was beaten by Fang Yuan when she chased him into the regional wall. This battle revealed the secret of Fang Yuan receiving almost no suppression in regional walls. The regional walls can even be said to be his natural territory. Unfortunately for him, it is almost impossible to draw in heaven and earth chi in regional walls. He definitely can't undergo tribulation in the regional walls. But 5 regional mountain range is different. This area is man-made and has ample earth chi since it is in southern border. Heaven chi is also not scarce in it. It is also able to provide some territorial advantages for Fang Yuan. Zhen Shenguang was extremely fast. He had already crossed tens of thousands of li while all kinds of thoughts moved rapidly in his mind. He could already see the 5 regional mountain range on the horizon. Zhen Shenguang was able to so quickly rush to the scene because he had been lurking near this area. Everyone knew of the 5 regional mountain range. It was not a secret. Months ago, Fairy Ziwei had deduced some locations where Fang Yuan might undergo tribulation. 5 regional mountain range was among the top possible locations. As such, the 5 regional mountain range was one of the heavily observed locations by Heavenly Court. This time, to deal with Fang Yuan, Fairy Ziwei did not hesitate to transfer many rank 8 GU immortals into the other 4 regions. Southern border had 2, Zhen Shenguang was one of them, the other was a rank 8 GU immortal, Wei Feng, who was rather far away but was currently rushing towards the location with all haste. Zhen Shenguang reached close to 5 regional mountain range and activated a killer move to hide himself before carefully moving forward. Swoosh swoosh, endless amounts of heaven and earth chi, like giant river waves, were drawn in and gathered in the central area of the 5 regional mountain range. That area was covered in shadows and bright light, nothing could be seen. That area was like a bottomless hole that endlessly devoured the enormous amount of heaven and earth chi. This scale, it is truly terrifying. Zhen Shenguang felt a chill from the sight. He quickly activated his unique investigative methods. After Fang Yuan successfully trapped and captured the group of southern border GU immortals, Zhen Shenguang had appeared to inspect the battlefield. Right now, Zhen Shenguang was vigilant and did not dare to rashly move ahead even though he was a rank 8 GU immortal, a rank higher than Fang Yuan. If by any chance, he rashly entered the 5 regional mountain range and discovered it was Fang Yuan's trap, it would be truly miserable. After Zhen Shenguang inspected properly, he confirmed someone was indeed undergoing tribulation. But whether it was Fang Yuan or not was unknown. Zhen Shenguang was extremely patient and used other methods. After a while of investigation, he confirmed an otherworldly demon was undergoing tribulation. As such, Zhen Shenguang was almost 100% sure this was where Fang Yuan was. He is truly undergoing tribulation here. Zhen Shenguang mumbled, his gaze holding some disbelief. But he quickly reacted, smiling at himself. The truth sounds fake while the lies sound real. Fang Yuan is clearly here but I actually don't dare to believe it. Northern Plains He tribe had unique methods that could detect otherworldly demons. Heavenly Court naturally also had similar killer moves. Back when Fairy Ziwei had tried to persuade Fang Yuan to surrender, she had revealed, Heavenly Court is the Heavenly Court of humanity, even otherworldly demons would be accepted in it. Heavenly Court had indeed recruited otherworldly demons before but there were no clear records in history, so others were unaware. It was not strange for Heavenly Court to possess such methods. Zhen Shenguang was currently using this method. The probability of Fang Yuan taking such methods into consideration and deceiving us is too low. After all, even if he has reborn, this method was specially modified by Lady Ziwei recently. I've heard that after Yuan Chongdu joined Heavenly Court, besides being in charge of restoring Fate GU, he has also been refining Immortal GU targeted towards dealing with Fang Yuan. There were cases in history where rank 8 demonic path GU immortals caused havoc in the world. When Heavenly Court became unable to restrain them easily, they would refine Immortal GU to deal with such demons. This kind of Immortal GU were specially meant to subdue specific demons, and as such had extraordinary effect. Fang Yuan was only rank 7 but was already thought so highly by Heavenly Court. A case like this was unprecedented even in history. There could be another reason, he is no longer able to delay the Grand Tribulation and must undergo the tribulation. Zhen Shenguang's eyes flashed with sharp light. Someone was undergoing tribulation here and that person was an otherworldly demon. It was clear that person was Fang Yuan. If it were someone else, who would come to this place to undergo tribulation? Adding on the scale of the heaven and earth chi, and the otherworldly demon identity, who else could it be other than Fang Yuan? Good, good, good. Fang Yuan, my Heavenly Court has finally caught you. Zhen Shenguang's face shined with increasing excitement. Fang Yuan had already started his tribulation and could not move casually during this time, he had become a live target. Even if he had fixed immortal travel, how could he use it? This could be said to be Fang Yuan's weakest moment. Zhen Shenguang's expression slowly calmed down, turning serious as a deadly and murderous aura moved around his body. If I kill Fang Yuan, I will make a world-shaking contribution. Zhen Shenguang's heart was set on fire. It was truly lucky that he could encounter such a good opportunity. No wonder Lady Ziwei once told me that I had abundant luck. Although it is not a match for Fang Yuan's, I won't be suppressed by his luck as long as I don't make the first move. If I stalk from behind like an oriole, waiting for Fang Yuan's luck to weaken, I have a chance to win. Zhen Shenguang's eyes were already burning with killing intent. So what if it is the 5 regional mountain range? It is only an imitation of the regional walls. Even if Fang Yuan was undergoing tribulation in the regional wall, I, Zhen Shenguang, would forcibly enter and kill him. Rumble. A sonic wave suddenly erupted as an immortal GU house charged into the 5 regional mountain range like lightning. Zhen Shenguang's heart immediately chilled. Clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building. These southern border immortals arrived really fast. Sure enough, the beacon towers helped them a lot. Even my heavenly court does not have such methods to gather troops so quickly. When we invade southern border in the future, we must first get rid of these beacon towers. Zhen Shenguang was actually somewhat happy to see these southern border righteous path forces. He wanted these people to spearhead the attack, wearing down Fang Yuan's battle strength and luck. Clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building rose to the sky. Wu Yang and the southern border righteous path immortals were looking at the whole 5 regional mountain range from within the bamboo building. Many GU immortals felt puzzled and stunned at such a scale of heaven and earth chi. Some wisdom path GU immortals deduced together, and soon, one of them excitedly said, "It is almost certain that Fang Yuan is undergoing tribulation here." Great. Wonderful, wonderful. Fang Yuan is a heinous demon with deep sins. We will avenge our southern border righteous path's brethren by taking his head today. We are saving the world by killing this demon. We will bring blessings to the people of the world. HMPH, this Fang Yuan really thinks my southern border righteous path is a pushover. He is really undergoing tribulation in southern border. He probably thought we will be afraid because he has our members in captivity. Little could he imagine how firm our southern border righteous path is in defending our values. The southern border immortals were full of battle intent. Sha clan's 2nd Supreme Elder Sha Zhao and 3rd Supreme Elder Sha Chen Yuan looked at each other with helplessness. They really wanted to save their 1st Supreme Elder Sha Cha, but they had no choice but to go with the flow in this atmosphere. Southern border's righteous path forces were already suppressing deep anger from being extorted by Fang Yuan. It was just that they were not able to find Fang Yuan's location. After calculating the benefits, they chose to be extorted to protect the hostages. But at this moment, Fang Yuan was in front of them. As long as they killed him, they might be able to obtain inheritances of multiple venerables, countless cultivation resources, and several secluded domains of heaven and earth. The soaring hatred and the enormous benefits made these southern border GU immortals' eyes turn red. Our southern border righteous path alliance is newly established. We need to establish a name for ourselves using an infamous demon. Fang Yuan is perfect for this. Everyone, this damned demon is undergoing tribulation. We have limited time. We will attack from all sides and make his death anniversary exactly a year from now. Under Wu Yang's command, southern border righteous path immortals rushed out. They had a powerful group of immortals. Kai Kuyu, Shang Wujia, and other rank 8 GU immortals, seniors with high authority like Sha Zhao and others, rank 7 experts like Yao Du, Hu Tang, Bada and so on. Even Zhen Shenguang, who was hiding inwardly, clicked his tongue. This was almost the full force of southern border's righteous path. There were probably only some minor rank 6 immortals left to guard their headquarters. At this moment, inside the sovereign immortal aperture, heaven chi was surging rapidly. Boundless lumps of lights condensed into dozens of giant beams of light and shot towards Fang Yuan. Earth chi solidified, restraining Fang Yuan's movement. Fang Yuan was austere. His attention was not on the tribulation, but outside his immortal aperture. Oh wow, quite a number of people have showed up. Southern border's righteous path really hates me. Of course the wealth I possess is also extremely attractive. Besides them, there definitely have to be heavenly court's GU immortals lying in ambush, but I am not able to find them for now. He had captured many southern border GU immortals and soul-searched them, gaining deep understanding of southern border's righteous path, but he did not dare to have any hint of carelessness right now. Southern border's righteous path had robust foundations and hidden trump cards. Especially some deeply hidden trump cards. Even the clan's 1st Supreme Elder might not be aware of them, let alone the captives in Fang Yuan's hands. The beacon towers are troublesome indeed. Fang Yuan heaved a sigh. I destroyed so many, but it is extremely easy for them to construct more again. In my first life of 500 years, Southern Border was defeated repeatedly before they finally began constructing beacon towers on a large scale. In this life, because of me, the construction of the beacon towers has been brought forward. Those holding high positions are indeed not simple, they cannot be underestimated. Chapter 1623. 8 Years Monkey. The Southern Border Immortals immediately felt strong forces of repulsion and attraction when they entered the 5 regional mountain range. They activated their killer moves to move forward while maintaining defensive methods. Their immortal apertures shook constantly as they suffered backlash from their immortal killer moves. This demon chose quite a good place. Some Southern Border GU Immortals said with hatred. Even if my immortal aperture is destroyed, I will get rid of this demon. Many GU Immortals instead became filled with battle intent as their thoughts of killing Fang Yuan became even more firm. Fang Yuan was so crafty and vicious, he was audacious and arrogant, having no fear of even heavenly court let alone of the other region's righteous paths. This person was only rank 7 but had ambushed Southern Border's righteous path immortals and taken them captive for ransom. If he was allowed to advance to rank 8, how disastrous would that be? If Fang Yuan was a righteous path member, it would be fine. Righteous path had to abide by rules. But he was of the demonic path, a lone individual, he killed or robbed others for the cultivation resources he needed. This was an irreconcilable conflict. Moreover, Fang Yuan not only had terrifying battle strength to kill and loot, he could even defend against deductions. This was too frightening. This calamity must be eradicated as early as possible. Kill, charge in, avenge our clansmen. Whoever kills Fang Yuan will be heavily rewarded by me, Shang Wujia. I, Kai Kuyu, will personally set up an immortal formation for them. My Wu clan will open the treasury and let the person who kills Fang Yuan choose 3 immortal GU. The morale of Southern Border's GU immortals soared crazily in front of the great rewards. They split into various groups and moved to every area of the 5 regional mountain range, creating a perimeter around the central area before charging in. Caw. A series of chicken cries was heard. A giant immemorial year chicken suddenly appeared and blocked Shang Wujia's group. Fang Yuan had naturally made arrangements, spreading immemorial year beasts in all directions to block the enemy. This immemorial year chicken charged ferociously towards the Southern Border GU Immortals. The accompanying rank 7 GU Immortals felt a chill in their hearts and were about to defend with all their strength when they suddenly heard Shang Wujia's snort. A little chick trying to block me. Shang Wujia shouted, directly activating a rank 8 killer move. Boom! The immemorial year chicken was sent flying, it crashed into a mountain and fell unconscious immediately. The rank 7 GU Immortals gasped at this sight, their gaze towards Shang Wujia had already changed. Shang Wujia might be a rank 8 GU Immortal but he was never famous for his battle strength. I didn't imagine his offensive move to be so fierce. An immemorial year chicken is still an immemorial year beast, but was knocked unconscious by Shang Wujia without even a chance to retaliate. Ferocious, too ferocious. Shang clan is ranked among the top 5 super forces of Southern Border, but the strength Shang Wujia showed is too powerful. Shang Wujia's performance was extremely shocking. No matter how weak the immemorial year chicken was, it was still at rank 8 level. Who could have thought it would be get done in by just one move? Read more chapter at VIP novel. Oh, he brought weak chicken GU with him. Fang Yuan was observing the situation outside while undergoing the tribulation. The immemorial year chicken's poor performance made Fang Yuan recall a famous transaction in his previous life. Ba clan rank 7 GU immortal Ba Ji paid an enormous price to obtain rank 8 weak chicken GU from Shang clan. Because of some special method, he was actually able to use this immortal GU and increase his strength greatly, successively raising a huge storm in the 5 regions' chaotic war. Currently, GU immortal Ba Ji is still in closed cultivation, he is not famous and is hardly regarded by anyone. Weak chicken GU is still with Shang clan and was brought by Shang Wujia to deal with me. Shang Wujia's battle strength was not outstanding among Southern Border's rank 8s, but he created a great sensation with weak chicken GU. Fortunately, that immemorial year rooster was only unconscious and not killed, it could still be saved. Fang Yuan immediately sent an immemorial year snake to attack Shang Wujia's group. The two sides confronted, Shang Wujia was immediately obstructed, his previous momentum coming to an abrupt stop. Several other groups were also facing Shang Wujia's situation, and they all had rank 8 GU immortals. Fang Yuan was clearly prioritizing defending against these rank 8 existences. These immemorial year beasts were not the match of the rank 8 GU immortals in one-on-one combat, but they could block them for some time. Moreover, it was different in the 5 regional mountain range. The difficulty of using any immortal killer move increased greatly, and the GU Immortal would even suffer the backlash. There were also attraction and repulsion forces that constantly disturbed the GU Immortals. They not only had to concentrate on the fight, but also had to constantly pay attention to these constant attraction and repulsion forces. These attraction and repulsion forces became greater on those with higher cultivation. Rank 8 GU Immortals would face great difficulty to make any move. This was also why, under normal situations, rank 8 GU Immortals traveled through Black Heaven or White Heaven, detouring around this path. But in the end, the 5 regional mountain range was only an imitation of 5 regions' regional walls, so its obstruction towards rank 8 GU Immortals was not as powerful as the true regional walls. Even so, it still greatly restricted the actions of rank 8 GU Immortals. For a moment, even Wu Yang had to use all his strength to fight the immemorial year beast, unable to move any further. These immemorial year beasts came from the river of time and were not born in the 5 regions, so they suffered no restrictions. As for Immortal GU House Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building, it was a consolidated immortal killer move and would be severely restrained in the 5 regional mountain range. Wu Yang had already stored it inside his immortal aperture and did not dare to rashly take it out. This demon's scheme is truly sly, no wonder he chose this place to undergo tribulation. A GU Immortal coughed out blood and shouted, "Forget us, charge in and disturb Fang Yuan's tribulation. We can't let him pass this tribulation." Kai Kuyu shouted. Fang Yuan had arranged all the immemorial year beasts, but their numbers were not as high as the southern border GU Immortals. While the immemorial year beasts were restraining the southern border Immortals, they were also being restrained at the same time. Many southern border GU Immortals passed around the immemorial year beasts and charged towards Fang Yuan. Formation, rise. Fang Yuan was not panicked. Under his command, a large immortal formation suddenly activated in the surroundings. Instantly, the southern border GU Immortals lost their 5 senses, dense fog appeared before them making them lose their direction. This demon had a backup plan indeed. Don't be afraid, immortal GU houses can't be used easily in the 5 regional mountain range, the same applies to immortal formations. Once enough time passes, it will collapse by itself. At that time, Fang Yuan will have to bear the backlash of the collapse. No, this is exactly that demon's plan. As long as he can hold out for this time and pass the tribulation, even if the formation collapses and he suffers backlash, he can use fixed immortal travel to escape. The southern border GU Immortals rapidly conversed with each other, immediately realizing Fang Yuan's delaying tactic. We need to break this formation as soon as possible. Do you have such methods? Not good. Kai Clan's GU Immortals are all obstructed, none of them came. Damn it, this demon did it deliberately. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, a GU Immortal's laughter could be heard. Everyone's gaze was attracted towards the source. They saw a person with a large head, small body, and crafty eyes. Someone immediately asked, "Friend from Hu Clan, why are you laughing?" Hu Clan GU Immortal Hu Zishua stopped laughing and said, "No need to be worried, everyone. I found that this formation has no space path ability, it is only confusing our senses and causing us to fail to detect the correct direction. I have a beast that can be used for this. Come out." Just as he finished speaking, a strange light shot out of Hu Zishua's immortal aperture and landed on his shoulder, turning into a monkey. This monkey was small, covered with dense amount of silver fur. It had 8 ears, 4 on the left and 4 on the right. A GU Immortal gasped in shock. Could this be an immemorial desolate beast 8 ears monkey? Hu Zishua laughed loudly. You are exactly right. Ear monkey was a strange and precious beast, it was an information path beast. Even ordinary mortal ear monkeys were scarce, an immortal ear monkey was even rarer. When the ear monkey has 6 ears, it is a desolate beast. 7 ears meant ancient desolate beast. And 8 ears meant an immemorial desolate beast. Instantly, the southern border immortals' gazes towards Hu Zishua changed. Hu Zishua only had rank 7 cultivation, he neither had great battle strength nor was famous. Who could have thought he was actually hiding an immemorial desolate beast? He had really hidden it deeply. He might not have showed this trump card if not for this expedition to kill Fang Yuan. Monkey, monkey, where is the enemy? Hu Zishua stroked the 8 ears monkey's small head and softly commanded. The 8 ears monkey, an immemorial desolate beast, was actually so tame that it obediently listened to Hu Zishua's words. It immediately tilted to the side and listened for a moment, before screeching and pointing towards a direction. Everyone followed its direction, immediately making continuous breakthroughs. Suddenly, the immortal formation changed. The 8 ears monkey immediately screamed loudly. It listened once again before pointing to another direction. Fang Yuan frowned. If this went on, he would not be able to block these southern border GU immortals even if he repeatedly changed the formation. It is actually an 8 years monkey. Although Hu clan has always focused on raising and enslaving monkeys, I didn't think they had such a rare divine beast. Zhen Shenguang's killing intent rose. Killing Fang Yuan was of great importance. Zhen Shenguang hesitated for a moment before deciding to take the risk. When the southern border GU immortals had entered the 5 regional mountain range, he had already quietly activated a killer move to conceal himself and enter. The other heavenly court GU immortal, Wei Feng, was rapidly approaching as well. Beasts like 8 years monkey can perceive everything in the surroundings. When central continent invades southern border, most of our concealment methods will be useless. Killing it will be greatly helpful to my heavenly court's plan. A trace of killing intent appeared in Zhen Shenguang's eyes when he looked at the 8 years monkey. The 8 years monkey immediately reacted, giving a sharp panicked screech. This beast is quite sensitive. Zhen Shenguang quickly retracted his gaze and looked ahead. Forget it, I will spare it for now. The urgent task is still Fang Yuan. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Hu Zishua comforted the 8 years monkey. Right at this time, their vision suddenly cleared up. Some GU immortals shouted, we have broken out. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The sovereign immortal aperture's entrance was wide open as it endlessly devoured the surging heaven and earth chi. This is Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. We are close now. Their enemy was in front of them, but the southern border immortals were dazed, looking at each other, none dared to move forward. Fang Yuan's terrifying might made these rank 7 GU immortals feel uneasy. HMPH, the Southern Alliance might have been established, but can the overall situation be changed instantly? These people are still a disorderly band. Zhen Shenguang sneered. He continued to move ahead while concealing himself. He was trying to enter Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Once I enter Fang Yuan's immortal aperture, he will be in a passive state and will have to hold back for fear of destroying his own resources. I don't even have to fight Fang Yuan, I just need to move around while destroying his resources. Fang Yuan definitely would not be able to bear it. Even more perfect is that Fang Yuan's grand tribulation has yet to form. If I disturb him from the side, he will make a mistake trying to deal with everything and I might really be able to kill him. But for more assurance, I should continue to hide inside his immortal aperture, and after Fang Yuan has fought the tribulation and southern border immortals for a while, I can make a fatal move. Haha, I can't wait to see his expression when he realizes a powerful enemy has entered his immortal aperture. Zhen Shenguang possessed extremely powerful concealment methods. This was one of his specialties. Naturally, he knew there was also a possibility of him being seen through and discovered by Fang Yuan. But if he did not grasp such a great opportunity, he would miss a chance at victory. Moreover, the probability of Fang Yuan seeing through his concealment was low. What did not carry risk? Let alone when it would be a fierce battle. Zhen Shenguang was a high and mighty rank 8 GU immortal, but he had never lost the courage to stake his life. It was just that he had a clear understanding of when he should take the risk and when he should not. Now is the time to stake my life. Zhen Shenguang's eyes shined with bright light as he activated his immortal killer move. He endured the backlash and entered the sovereign immortal aperture along with heaven and earth chi. The southern border immortals had all been maintaining investigative killer moves but none of them detected Zhen Shenguang. Chapter 1624. This is a trap. The immortal aperture's entrance was wide open, but the scale of the absorption of heaven and earth chi had already decreased by a lot. What is this? The enemy is in front of you and you are all hesitating. A Thai clan GU immortal shouted at the southern border immortals. Many became red with shame. They immediately came to their senses and someone yelled, let's charge in together. Fang Yuan is still undergoing tribulation, we will win this battle. Whoever runs away will be the biggest disgrace of southern border's righteous path. That's right, let's charge into his immortal aperture. Even if we die, we will make sure this demon has huge losses. He, why so pessimistic? This demon has extorted so many things. His immortal aperture definitely has wondrous and rare resources, not to mention he also has a few secluded domains of heaven and earth. My clan's GU immortal is still in his captivity, I wonder where he is putting the captives. I have already checked, there are no immortal formations around us. Hu Zishua assured while stroking the 8 years monkey's small head. The southern border immortals immediately put their hearts at ease. Fang Yuan's formation had made southern border's righteous path suffer huge losses. After this problem was removed, their morale soared, charging into the entrance of the immortal aperture one after the other. Buzz buzz buzz. But right at this moment, there was a change. Ear-piercing buzzing sounds resounded throughout the battlefield, almost bursting the Immortal's eardrums. At the same time, an extremely dazzling light burst out. Many southern border GU Immortals were caught off guard, their vision was covered in white as they temporarily lost sight. The southern border Immortals were shocked, they defended in panic while sending out countless killer moves towards the center of the light. The person inside the light was not Fang Yuan, but Zhen Shenguang. He was furious and shaken. This killer move of mine is Fright Light, it will activate automatically when I face fatal danger and I don't need to control it. Fright Light was activated when I tried to sneak into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. What's going on? Could there still be a trap? 1. He was a rank 8 GU Immortal, he retreated rapidly while blocking the bombardment of the southern border Immortals. You have great methods, but since you have arrived, why be in a hurry to leave? Fang Yuan's leisurely laughter reached Zhen Shenguang's ears. Zhen Shenguang's mind jolted, crying out, oh no. He immediately sensed a formless attraction force pulling him, trying to drag him into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Immediately, Zhen Shenguang's doubt completely disappeared, he was certain that this was Fang Yuan's trap. Zhen Shenguang roared, and without regard for the backlash from the 5 regional mountain range, he crazily activated his immortal killer moves to resist the formless attraction force. Zhen Shenguang used his main method to turn into a ray of strange light once again and tried to shoot out of the battlefield. But although the killer move succeeded, the strange light's speed was so slow, to the point of being like a snail or a tortoise. Damn it, this is a time path method. Zhen Shenguang immediately identified it because this time path method had slowed down his time by close to 100 times. Zhen Shenguang was extremely shocked. I am a rank 8 GU Immortal with rank 8 Dao marks, why am I being slowed down so much? Fang Yuan's time path method is actually at rank 8 level, this is completely beyond the previous information, how did he achieve this? What happened? I have been struck. Time is extremely slow, it is like I am trapped in a swamp, quickly think of some way. Like Zhen Shenguang, the nearby southern border Immortals were also in the same situation. You all came uninvited, I should naturally pay such enthusiasm 100-fold in return. Fang Yuan descended on the battlefield. They saw a GU Immortal wearing a loose white robe, with black hair fluttering in the wind, his face was handsome to the point of being beautiful. A pair of deep abyss-like eyes with a gaze filled with coldness and terrifying killing intent. The GU Immortals here were all too familiar with this appearance, such that their bodies started shaking and their faces paled in fright. Someone among the GU Immortals said with a trembling voice, Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan ignored these rank 7 GU Immortals and looked at Zhen Shenguang. Zhen Shenguang's face was red as he used all his strength to get rid of the time path restraints. He had plenty of methods and they were showing good effects under his efforts, the time path restraints on him were decreasing and his speed was subsequently increasing. Fang Yuan smiled, slowly extending his left arm. His pristine jade-like hand spread open elegantly, like the blossoming of a white lotus. Soul Path aura surged out and instantly shrunk fiercely, condensing into an illusory figure in Fang Yuan's left palm. This illusory figure looked like the real Luopo Valley, but shrunk by countless times. Luopo Valley's illusory figure leisurely rotated while Fang Yuan's left hand began to slowly close. Zhen Shenguang's mind rang madly with warning signals, an unprecedented sense of danger had shrouded his whole body and mind. His eyes opened wide, almost about to rip open from the nervousness. What is this killer move? Terrifying, too terrifying, my feeling is not wrong, I will not survive if I get hit by this move. Escape, I must escape. Zhen Shenguang's face turned completely red, his thin brows trembled madly as his previous grace completely disappeared. Immortal killer move, Sun Deity's Radiance. With a shout, he directly used his strongest method. His whole body turned into a lump of light, endless light erupted, it was like a small sun had appeared in the battlefield. The scalding white light had inexhaustible might, wherever it went, Fang Yuan's time path methods crumbled apart. The southern border Immortals had just freed themselves when they were engulfed by the endless glaring sunlight. The imitation regional wall that spread over every mountain dissipated completely under the illumination of the powerful sunlight. The whole 5 regional mountain range began to shake, especially the center of the battlefield where large amounts of mountain rocks began to crumble and fall. The aftereffects of Sun Deity's radiance even affected other battlefields. Southern borders groups with rank 8s, who were fighting with immemorial year beasts, were heavily disturbed by this. This is a rank 8 GU Immortal of Central Continent. HMPH, this is probably a person of Heavenly Court. The light dissipated, the scene at the central battlefield became extremely clear. Suddenly, a GU Immortal cried out in shock. Wait, that immortal aperture, that is my clansman's immortal aperture. What? It is not Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Everyone was terrified. This is a trap, Zhen Shenguang shouted as he forcibly concentrated and retreated madly. Escaping, Fang Yuan suddenly appeared above Zhen Shenguang. Zhen Shenguang's heart shook fiercely as he stared at Fang Yuan rigidly with narrowed eyes. In that instant, he suddenly realized that rather than saying Fang Yuan was ambushing Southern Border GU Immortals, it was more accurate to say he was specially ambushing Heavenly Court's members like himself. So your true target was me. HMPH, you have already exposed that move, I am now already on guard. Your trap has also collapsed, can you still restrain me? A mere rank 7, I am a rank 8 GU Immortal. I also have Wei Feng rushing here now. Unless this group of Southern Border GU Immortals teamed up with you, do you think you can kill me? Zhen Shenguang breathed heavily, countless rays of light flowed around him like liquid, protecting him heavily. Sure enough, the Southern Border Immortals attacked at the next moment. Their target was Fang Yuan. Wu Yong took the lead, while Kai Kuyu and Shang Wujia followed closely behind. They attacked Fang Yuan, disregarding the attacks of the immemorial year beasts. Following them, large numbers of Southern Border GU Immortal experts used their main techniques. Zhen Shenguang laughed heartily. Fang Yuan, you demon, you have brought your own doom by committing so many sins. You still want to kill me? Your death is certain today. Is that so? In the brink of danger, Fang Yuan was still calm, the corners of his lips even rose slightly to reveal a mocking smile. Boom! At the next moment, his rank 7 aura suddenly changed. An incomparable aura soared to the skies and shot in all directions. Everyone at the scene was greatly shocked. What? Rank 8 aura? Impossible. Fang Yuan's body paused slightly before he lightly pointed his finger. Immortal killer move, spring scissors. Next, he folded his hands, his sleeves fluttered and formed a fan. Immortal killer move, summer fan. This is. Kai Kuyu and Shang Wujia were dumbstruck at this scene. This is Lady Sha Cha's. Several of Sha Clan's rank 7 GU Immortals cried out, an extremely bad feeling shrouded everyone's hearts. Rumble. Spring Scissors attacked Zhen Shenguang, immediately suppressing him, while Summer Fan, which was in Fang Yuan's hand, waved rapidly, blocking all killer moves of the Southern Border Immortals. At this moment, Fang Yuan's demonic aura surged as he fought the whole group alone. It was a grand spectacle. Chapter 1625. Luo Po Seal. Shock. All the GU Immortals present at the scene felt shocked at seeing Fang Yuan fight against everyone. They had come to obstruct and disturb Fang Yuan from passing his tribulation, to prevent him from becoming rank 8. But none of them had thought that when they saw him, he was already rank 8. This unexpected result caught all of them off guard. When did he advance to rank 8? Kai Kuyu's eyes were wide open in disbelief. It is not strange for him to be able to use Spring Scissors and Summer Fan. The important thing is that these killer moves have been amplified by Time Path Dao marks and are able to obstruct all the attacks. Even if Fang Yuan advanced to rank 8, how could he have gained so many Time Path Dao marks in such a short period of time? I think he has likely possessed Sha Cha's body and used familiar face to deceive us and make us think he has already passed the tribulation. Shang Wujia forced himself to calm down and analyzed. No. First Supreme Elders Spring and Summer are both rank 8 Immortal GU and can only be activated by rank 8 Immortal Essence. Sha Clan's second Supreme Elder Sha Zhao shouted. Then, Shang Wujia immediately hesitated. Immortal Essence contained the GU Immortals will and had to belong to themselves. If they died, their heavenly spirit or land spirit could use their Immortal Essence. The only exception was Immortal GU houses, as Immortal Essence from any source could be used in them. But the killer moves Fang Yuan used were clearly not Immortal GU houses. If Fang Yuan was only rank 7 with Red Date Immortal Essence, he would not be able to activate rank 8 Immortal GU Spring and Summer, even if he possessed Sha Cha's body and obtained her Immortal Essence. No use in thinking much, we will know after killing Fang Yuan. Wu Yong called out. He flew forward, the immemorial year beast behind him collapsed to the ground, unable to get up. At this crucial moment, Wu Yong displayed powerful battle strength. He first killed Fang Yuan's immemorial year beast and then used all his strength to attack Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan. Wu Yong's gaze was cold as his battle intent surged wildly. Even if you have truly advanced to rank 8, you won't escape your doom today. This 5 regional mountain range, which you carefully chose, will be your graveyard. Just as he finished speaking, the whole mountain range began to tremor violently. The ground quaked, the mountains shook, and debris flew everywhere. What's happening? The immortals were stunned. Wu Yong's voice traveled to everyone's ears. Don't panic, this is a backup plan I arranged. It can change the alignment of the earth vein under the 5 regional mountain range and destroy the mountain range. The immortals were even more puzzled. So what if the earth vein's alignment changed? But soon, they had a pleasant surprise. As the mountain range gradually crumbled, the 5 colored lights unique to the 5 regional mountain range were also rapidly dissipating. Even Zhen Shenguang was astonished. Amazing. Without these shackles, our battle strength will recover and we will no longer be restrained. Southern Border's GU Immortals were rejoicing. Wu Yong is indeed different from Wu Dushu, he still had another card up his sleeve. Shang Wujia's eyes flickered with sharp lights. How can Wu clan be so familiar with 5 regional mountain range? There cannot be this level of effect just by changing the alignment of the earth vein. They also would have to know the arrangements made by Dao Zhu back then. Kai Kuyu's thoughts were fluctuating rapidly. The large formation, set up by Wu clan's and Chao clan's GU Immortals in the periphery of the 5 regional mountain range, was constantly rumbling. It was the source of the change in the entire 5 regional mountain range. Chao Silu, Wu Yubo and some others were in charge of this formation. Wu Yubo chuckled coldly while looking towards the battlefield. This demon Fang Yuan wants to rely on the 5 regional mountain range. Now that we have destroyed his territorial advantage, how will he defend against our southern border righteous paths, attacks? Chao Silu was silent, her expression was slightly complicated. She had once been quite close with Wu Yihai, and had even believed she and he would get married. But the outcome was shocking beyond her imagination. Wu Yihai was actually Fang Yuan in disguise. She felt a chill every time she thought of how close she had been with a great demon like Fang Yuan. She did not have any feelings left for Fang Yuan, her complicated emotions were because of the 5 regional mountain range. Everyone thought Dao Zhu's research of the regional walls did not succeed. But that was not quite true. Chao clan had by chance obtained clues to Dao Zhu's inheritance and had been secretly exploring the clues to excavating the inheritance. But they had not expected Wu Yong to know of this information, and under his pressure, Chao clan had to offer their findings which were then used now. It was because of such clues that Wu Yong had a deep understanding of the 5 regional mountain range and could make the lights of the 5 regions disappear by changing the earth vein. If it were any other who tried to change the earth vein without knowledge, unless they were extremely lucky, the lights would still exist for the most part. Oh, this is a rank 8 GU Immortal's inheritance, but it is all used up here, and with the destruction of the 5 regional mountain range, there is no hope in exploring the inheritance anymore. Chao Silu sighed. She seemed to have had many thoughts, but a very short time had passed. Zhen Shenguang's fright light activated as he was chased by Fang Yuan. The southern border immortals attacked Fang Yuan but their attacks were blocked by Fang Yuan who revealed rank 8 cultivation. Southern border immortals conversed rapidly, while Wu Yong made the first move, the 5 regional mountain range crumbled, removing Fang Yuan's terrain advantage. All these changes happened in an instant. Fang Yuan endured the southern border immortals' attacks while still chasing after Zhen Shenguang even when Wu Yong was nearing him. Zhen Shenguang had used his trump card, his aura had already fallen to an extreme point. His Sun Deity's Radiance Killer move was extremely powerful, but it not only expended a huge amount of white lychee immortal essence, it also permanently decreased his light path Dao marks. It was a move that dealt damage to the enemy as well as to himself. Moreover, he had activated it inside the 5 regional mountain range and had already suffered a powerful backlash. Although he managed to escape for the moment, he was seriously injured. But now, the lights of the 5 regions were rapidly weakening. Zhen Shenguang felt like a huge load was removed from his back, he felt more at ease in his movements as his greatest concern was removed. Looking at Wu Yong rushing towards Fang Yuan, a thought appeared in Zhen Shenguang's mind, should I cooperate with the southern border GU Immortals to kill Fang Yuan? This thought had just emerged when it was immediately rejected by Zhen Shenguang. Continue to escape. The current situation was extremely complex, he was not a southern border GU Immortal. More importantly, Fang Yuan was chasing him. If he managed to escape, it would mean Fang Yuan's failure. Zhen Shenguang prioritizing his escape was a very wise move. Fang Yuan was still chasing him closely, disregarding Wu Yong. At this time, there was another change. A powerful aura suddenly emerged. Enormous pillars in 5 colors soared to the skies, a loud voice reverberated throughout the 5 regional mountain range. Junior, you did well, you actually passed my final test of destroying the 5 regional mountain range. Now, my 5 regions inheritance is yours. Cultivate properly and you can move unrestrained and unhindered over the world in the future, don't let down my name. In the middle of the 5 colored light pillars, a smoke like will condensed into the vivid appearance of a GU Immortal. Many gazes were inevitably attracted towards this. Someone recognized this appearance. This looks like old man Dao Zhu. This can't be, right? At the periphery of the mountain range, Chao Silu heard the voice from within the pillars and felt strange. Dao Zhu's final test was to destroy the 5 regional mountain range. This accidental action actually activated Dao Zhu's inheritance. Dao Zhu heard someone calling him old man and immediately felt unhappy, speaking arrogantly, "What old man? Since you are inheriting my inheritance, how could you be so disrespectful?" Rumble. Wind blew rapidly, heaven and earth roared. Replying to him was Wu Yong's rank 8 killer move, but it was targeted towards Fang Yuan and not him. Fang Yuan's immortal robe shook and ripples appeared on it. It was the immortal killer move Reverse Flow Protection Seal. This move reflected the attack. Wu Yong continued to close in while enduring the reflected attack. Fang Yuan's speed was immediately restrained. The move Wu Yong used had an extremely wide range, so Reverse Flow Protection Seal only reflected back a portion that had struck Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan continued to fly while reflecting the attacks back. Although he was completely safe, his speed was greatly reduced. Fang Yuan had already used Reverse Flow Protection Seal many times. How could Wu Yong not have prepared specific restricting methods? What? Dao Zhu's will was stunned. He quickly looked around and saw several rank 8 GU immortals fighting. There were also many rank 7 experts present on the scene. He almost broke down from the shock. What's going on? This was completely different from his original expectation. There was no respectful junior in front of him, there were only vicious and fierce GU immortals. Ignore him, he is just a dead man. The inheritance is here, we can take it after the battle. The urgent thing now is to kill Fang Yuan. Not to mention Dao Zhu's inheritance, I would even give up a GU Venerable's true inheritance to kill Fang Yuan. The immortals shouted in fury, their attention once again focusing on Fang Yuan's body. Dao Zhu's will. He was stupefied, this was completely out of his expectations. Shortly afterwards, he shook as he reacted. Who in the world is that person being chased by so many GU immortals? To kill him, they can even give up a GU Venerable's true inheritance. Dao Zhu's will looked towards Fang Yuan but did not recognize him. Who is this person? Someone who became a GU immortal after my main body's death. Right at this time, Fang Yuan had finally caught up to Zhen Shenguang. Zhen Shenguang's whole body was soaked in sweat from the nervousness. Intense warning signals caused his heart to beat like a drum. He escaped with all his strength while cursing internally. Wu Yong, you bastard. What killer move did you use, even trapping me? Wu Yong's killer move had an extremely wide range, even Zhen Shenguang received its care. Wu Yong's exquisite method was not so easily broken. Zhen Shenguang's strength fell sharply, his speed fell even more than Fang Yuan's. It's over. Fang Yuan mumbled lightly as he attacked with no change in his expression, calm like an ancient well. The illusory figure of Luopo Valley in his palm was slowly rotating. Suddenly, Fang Yuan's fingers clenched it tightly. A gray light shot out from the gap between the fingers. Fang Yuan then opened his palm and slapped towards the distant Zhen Shenguang. Comment. The light shot out with extreme speed. Zhen Shenguang dodged it frantically like a headless housefly. Wu Yong, who was chasing from behind, had a sinister look in his eyes. A wild wind suddenly blew around Zhen Shenguang, obstructing him heavily. Wu Yong, I curse your grandmother. Zhen Shenguang did not even have time to complete his curse when Fang Yuan's gray light struck him. In an instant, his flight came to an abrupt stop. His physical body had no injuries, but his soul was heavily injured to the point it was almost extinguished. Immortal killer move, Luopo Seal. While Zhen Shenguang was in a daze, an immortal GU house suddenly appeared beside Fang Yuan. Inside the immortal GU house, Ying Wuxie attacked Zhen Shenguang with a killer move he had prepared for a while. Immortal killer move, lead soul into dream. Zhen Shenguang could not react, instantly falling into a dream realm, unable to extricate himself. The immortal GU house was shadowy and faint, it immediately absorbed Zhen Shenguang and flew to Fang Yuan's side. Wu Yong paled from fright. He had disturbed Zhen Shenguang because he wanted to test the power of Fang Yuan's move. After all, Zhen Shenguang was not a southern border GU immortal, why not make use of him once? But Wu Yong had never expected Fang Yuan to capture Zhen Shenguang in one move. Previously, Fang Yuan had captured the southern border immortals by trapping them in a meticulously laid out time path formation. But now, he captured Zhen Shenguang with just a few methods. Such an increase in battle strength was simply horrifying. What killer move is that? It feels like it only targets the GU immortal's soul. It has such terrifying might, I must defend against it. There is also the Immortal GU house. What is that Immortal GU house? It almost cannot be detected when it is concealed. Southern Border's rank 8s rushed over with surging momentum. But when they witnessed Fang Yuan capturing Zhen Shenguang, they were shocked and bewildered as their battle intent fell sharply. Chapter 1626, Wu Yong's loss. Fang Yuan's actions shocked Dao Zhu immensely. Where did this Soul Path GU Immortal come from? He severely injured a rank 8 GU Immortal with just one attack. Such imposing demonic might, even Spectral Soul was merely at this level when he was young. I didn't expect this young man, who looks so delicate, to be so vicious and have such peerless methods. He must have committed many sins, or else why would Southern Border's righteous path attack him on such a scale? Noticing this, Dao Zhu became frightened. For the first time, he felt that the pillars of light around him were so glaring. My main body had made this arrangement for the convenience of the inheritor. Oh, who could have expected this situation to happen at the moment the inheritance activated? What did I do to deserve this? Was it easy for my main body to make such a painstaking arrangement? Dao Zhu immediately felt lonely and helpless. In this situation, let alone him, a mere will, even his main body would have to stay away from this conflict. The implications were too deep and troublesome, he could not rashly get involved. Dao Zhu's will was frightened, dejectedly curling inside the pillars while mumbling, "Don't look at me, don't look at me." 1. Why would the GU Immortals have the time or mood to look at him? Fang Yuan had captured the rank 8 GU Immortal Zhen Shenguang in front of everyone. Such terrifying battle strength made the rank 7 GU Immortals have parched mouths, and even the rank 8s were dazed. How can we defeat such a powerful enemy? If I stake my life and something unexpected happens, what will happen to the clan? Other rank 8s will keep their lives while I will be wasting mine for them. When Fang Yuan was rank 7 and could fight rank 8 with reverse flow protection seal, Southern Border's rank 8 GU Immortals could accept this level of battle strength. But it was completely different now. Fang Yuan was not only a rank 8 GU Immortal, he also possessed a mysterious and powerful method that seemed to be a soul path method. And it made a great combination with led soul into dream. Zhen Shenguang's example was right in front of them. The Southern Border rank 8 GU Immortals could also very well fall to Fang Yuan's vicious methods. At the crucial moment, the deep-seated problem for Southern Border's righteous path emerged again. They were forces who had prioritized themselves for too long. A heavy wariness against each other was already ingrained deep in their bones. Even if they realized the necessity of an alliance, faced with a choice at this time, these rank 8 GU Immortals all felt hesitation. These Southern Border rank 8 GU Immortals hesitated, but Fang Yuan had no hesitation. He laughed loudly as he turned around and charged towards Wu Yong. Wu Yong, what did you say earlier? This is my graveyard. Ha ha ha, I think it is the opposite, this is your graveyard. Come, let's settle the score once and for all. Fang Yuan gave a loud shout, his voice resounding throughout the 5 regional mountain range like thunder. His white robe and hair fluttered in the wind, his demonic aura and surging killing intent shocked the immortals. 3. Kai Kuyu, Sheng Wujia and other rank 8 GU immortals looked at Fang Yuan targeting Wu Yong, feeling complicated. They were tense but also could not help feeling a slight relief as all kinds of thoughts lingered in their minds. Fang Yuan might be powerful but he was only one man in the end. Moreover, Kai Kuyu had transacted with Fang Yuan before. In the current Southern Alliance, the Alliance leader's position was empty and Wu Yong was undoubtedly the #1 choice for it. If he became the Alliance leader, who knew how he would treat the other clans? Southern Border had always been divided. The biggest problem in working together were the mental hurdles and self-interest of the respective GU immortals. When 2 tigers fought, one was definitely going to be injured. Whether the injured one was Fang Yuan or Wu Yong, it was beneficial to other clans. Moreover, it could not be said we had not come to aid. Aren't we being hindered by immemorial year beasts? Useless bunch. Wu Yong inwardly cursed when he saw no one coming to his aid. But he did not fear Fang Yuan, instead his courage and battle intent were stirred. Let me see what method you used to capture a rank 8 GU immortal. Wu Yong took out clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building and controlled this immortal GU house to charge straight at Fang Yuan. Although Fang Yuan had a mysterious immortal GU house, it absolutely would not be able to survive a collision with clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building. His eyes flashed with a sinister light as he suddenly changed his direction and flew down. Clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building's momentum was too fierce and fast as it missed its target. Wu Yong, you are safe with the immortal GU house to protect you. In that case, how about I kill these rank 7 immortals, can you save them? Ha ha ha, Fang Yuan laughed madly. Damn it! Wu Yong quickly changed the direction of clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building and chased after Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan continued. Wu Yong, you have such a huge ambition, you established the Southern Border Alliance to become its leader, right? Let's see if you will still have the face left to become the alliance leader after I kill these people. Fang Yuan had not actually made any real attacks at Wu Yong, but his words were like blades that stabbed deeply in Wu Yong's heart. Wu Yong had led the Southern Border Immortals to besiege and kill Fang Yuan. On one hand, it was because he had deep hatred towards Fang Yuan, on the other hand, it was to accumulate reputation to pave the road to the position of alliance leader. But if he let Fang Yuan kill these rank 7 GU Immortals while he remained safe inside clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building without being able to do anything to Fang Yuan, his reputation was sure to take a huge hit and he would be even further from the position of alliance leader. Wu Yong was anxious and furious, almost pacing around in clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building. Although clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building was extremely fast and was rapidly catching up to Fang Yuan had already reached those rank 7 GU Immortals. Persevere. Am I going to die? Not necessarily. There are many GU Immortals here, we still have hope of survival. Fang Yuan had yet to attack, but these rank 7 GU Immortals' morale had already dissipated. They did not have any thought of counter-attacking and were only thinking of how to preserve their lives. The scene of Fang Yuan capturing a central continent rank 8 GU Immortal was truly horrifying. Go die. Fang Yuan's shout suddenly stopped. At the moment of danger, a dense yellowish-brown radiance suddenly appeared under the Southern Border Immortals and firmly protected them. This was a rank 8 defensive killer move. Fang Yuan, why commit more murders? You kill me, I kill you, this cycle is too pitiful and miserable. You are an outstanding person of this era, why can't you see through this? Lu Weiyin's figure appeared not far away. HMPH. You again. Fang Yuan gazed fiercely at Lu Weiyin. Boom. At the next moment, clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building flew over like a meteor and carried with it Wu Yong's intense hatred and anger, heavily collided with Fang Yuan's back. Immortal killer move, reverse flow protection seal. Fang Yuan was completely safe, the attack was reflected back to clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building. But the enormous collision force sent Fang Yuan flying like a cannonball. Wu Yong was suddenly at ease, he had sent Fang Yuan away from these rank 7 GU Immortals and it would be even more difficult for him to attack these people. But soon, Lu Weiyin's voice reached him, not good. This is Fang Yuan's plan, he is escaping. Wu Yong's expression immediately turned ashen as he helplessly looked at Fang Yuan smoothly charging into that immortal aperture. The moment he entered, the immortal aperture's entrance loudly closed. Fang Yuan is too crafty, since he put an ambush here, how could he not have arranged an escape route? He entered the immortal aperture because he must have a way to escape, like fixed immortal travel. Veins popped up on Wu Yong's forehead, he felt extremely stifled. Immortal apertures had always been easy to defend and hard to attack, especially an immortal aperture that had its entrance closed. Naturally, Southern Border's Righteous Path group could break into this blessed land. But Fang Yuan already had enough time to escape. Wu Yong had gathered such a large team but still failed. Not only was he unable to harm a single hair of Fang Yuan, a central continent rank 8 GU Immortal was captured right in front of everyone. This was simply a kick to Wu Yong's face. What is more insufferable is this guy. Wu Yong's dark gaze stared at Lu Weiyin. He suddenly spoke. Lu Weiyin, why didn't you stop him? Lu Weiyin quickly greeted as he said slowly, I am ashamed. I already used all my strength to protect these southern border friends, I truly did not have strength left to obstruct him. Lu Weiyin was instantly swarmed with countless expressions of gratitude from the southern border GU Immortals. Wu Yong breathed heavily in anger, his fists were tightly clenched but he could do nothing to Lu Weiyin. Lu Weiyin had a terrifying background of being Paradise Earth's inheritor and was the competitor who possessed the greatest threat to Wu Yong's dream of taking the alliance leader position. Wu Yong had led the Immortals to besiege Fang Yuan but had left Lu Weiyin behind so he could more easily accumulate prestige. But the result was, Fang Yuan escaped while Wu Yong gained nothing, his reputation suffered while Lu Weiyin was the complete opposite. Wu Yong's gaze shined sharply as if lightning sparks were flashing inside. After a while, he sighed and let his body relax, the anger on his face completely disappeared while his battle intent soared inwardly. A faint smile appeared on his lips as he clapped, thinking, Fang Yuan, Lu Weiyin, you two are truly something. I lost this round entirely because of you two. Chapter 1627. Ziwei's lingering fear. How could this be? How could this be? When information of the southern border battle reached her, Fairy Ziwei kept on mumbling in perplexity. The vast and bright hall was now filled with doubts. Fang Yuan had not only passed the tribulation, becoming rank 8, he had even laid a trap in the 5 regional mountain range and captured Heavenly Court Ji-Yu Immortal Zhen Shenguang. Fairy Ziwei already knew of the southern border Ji-Yu Immortals being captured by Fang Yuan, but she had never imagined the same fate would befall her Heavenly Court so quickly. A Heavenly Court Ji-Yu Immortal was actually captured alive. How long has it been since this happened? The instant she learned of this news, Fairy Ziwei had subconsciously thought of the impressive battle achievements of multiple demon venerables. Her brows showed her worry and there was even nervousness. Despite her estimating Fang Yuan highly, his growth had still greatly surpassed her expectations. Ever since Fang Yuan gained reverse flow protection seal, he has been huge trouble. Now that he has become rank 8, along with Sha Cha's methods, regardless of using the terrain advantage in the 5 regional mountain range to weaken his enemies, he indeed possesses a threat to Heavenly Court Ji-Yu Immortals. Fairy Ziwei heaved a deep sigh. She had already expected such a day. So she had tried all ways to eliminate this danger beforehand, but who could have expected Fang Yuan's progress to be so fast? Fang Yuan's progress is getting faster and faster, it seems like the quantitative change is becoming a qualitative change. But how in the world did he become a rank 8 without any commotion? Fairy Ziwei did not understand. She had always thought Fang Yuan's extremely fast cultivation progress was because he had used time path methods to quicken his immortal aperture's rate of time. But looking back over it, Fairy Ziwei suddenly realized Fang Yuan also had a peerless method that could raise his cultivation level. Then what is this method? Fairy Ziwei did not continue deducing, instead she left the hall and arrived at Spectral Soul's confinement area. The large formation rumbled into motion. After a long while, Fairy Ziwei returned to her hall with a shaken expression. Sovereign Immortal Fetus Ji-Yu. Sovereign Immortal Aperture, so it was like this. Fairy Ziwei muttered to herself. She was dazed and her soul was shaken. Spectral Soul's ambition shocked her. What made her even more fearful was that Sovereign Immortal Fetus Ji-Yu had been refined and obtained by Fang Yuan. An intense bitterness emerged in her heart. Spectral Soul had really hidden it too deeply. If not for Fang Yuan revealing clues this time which made Fairy Ziwei doubtful and use a specialized soul search, she would still have been in the dark. No wonder Fang Yuan's cultivation speed is so fast. This time, he should have annexed many southern border Ji-Yu Immortals' immortal apertures to skip tribulations and become a rank 8. He could activate Sha Cha's killer moves and confront other rank 8s head-on. This means he has annexed Sha Cha's immortal aperture. Only then would he have enough time path Dao marks to amplify Sha Cha's killer moves. Immortal apertures can only swallow smaller immortal apertures, but the sovereign immortal aperture is special. But devouring Sha Cha's rank 8 Grotto Heaven would require time path Great Grand Master attainment. How could Fang Yuan have it? Wait, suddenly, Fairy Ziwei's expression became extremely unsightly. All kinds of clues merged in her mind and removed her previous bewilderment. Fang Yuan has dream path methods and can raise his attainment level through dream realms. No wonder he entered southern border and plundered dream realms. His time path Great Grand Master attainment was definitely gained from dream realms. Gasp. Thinking of this, even Fairy Ziwei, who held a high status and was very experienced, could not help taking in a cold breath. Fang Yuan had the sovereign immortal aperture and could devour apertures to skip calamities and tribulations. And the biggest obstacle in devouring apertures was the attainment level of the respective paths. It was extremely difficult to raise attainment level and often required hundreds of years. But Fang Yuan could quickly raise his attainment level through dream realms. Like this, he could create a beneficial cycle. His cultivation speed could rise to a level where it could raise a terrifying wave even in the entire history of human cultivation. No, more accurately, what is terrifying is Spectral Soul. Fang Yuan was only a chess piece of Heaven's will to destroy Spectral Soul's heaven-defying plan, it was just that he escaped Heaven's will's control in the end. Fairy Ziwei felt a chill. Heavenly Court had already confined Spectral Soul and Fairy Ziwei would also frequently torture and soul search to extract important information from Spectral Soul. But despite this, Fairy Ziwei was feeling deep lingering fear. If Spectral Soul had truly succeeded, he would have Great Grand Master attainment level in all paths. With his extreme killing nature, he could continue devouring apertures and along with Shadow Sect and Zombie Alliance's resources, he could totally go straight to rank 8. At this level, Spectral Soul would have pseudo-venerable battle strength. More importantly, when the 5 regions chaotic war starts and dream realms appear everywhere, Spectral Soul might even be able to progress further. His huge ambition could be felt just by looking at Lead Soul into Dream. He had already made countless preparations in this aspect. If he truly reached this step, his dominance would be too large. Even the great dream seed Feng Jinhuang might have no chance to mature. Fortunately, he was not able to make the breakthrough during the most important juncture. Currently, Fang Yuan is taking his place in this plan, so it is more accurate to say that he did not succeed, but he did not completely fail either. Fairy Ziwei frowned deeply when she thought of Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan gave up on those southern border GU immortals and instead prioritized capturing Zhen Shenguang. His action is similar to me soul-searching spectral soul. He wants to get the location of heavenly court from Zhen Shenguang's soul. Oh no, the river of time. The tumultuous river was always flowing. It was so vast that its ends could not be seen. From inside an immortal GU house, Fang Yuan quietly looked at the ebb and flow of the river and its countless dazzling ripples. The river of time. After entering the immortal aperture and gaining some free time, Fang Yuan used an immortal killer move made with fixed immortal travel to escape the battleground. Not long later, he entered the river of time. Right now, Zhen Shenguang's soul was facing constant soul searching inside his sovereign immortal aperture. Know yourself and your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Fang Yuan urgently needed to know what arrangements Heavenly Court had made in the river of time. I laid an ambush in the 5 regional mountain range and fought a large battle. Although I captured Zhen Shenguang, I revealed too much information. Fang Yuan wanted to catch Heavenly Court off guard and not give them enough time to respond, so he directly entered the river of time in this short time period. This Lu Weiyin is not simple. His action was too timely, saving those southern border rank 7s at the most critical time. He was probably hiding nearby all along. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had a merciful and compassionate nature. He restored peace to the chaotic world and repaired the damage done by spectral soul in all 5 regions. In the 5 regions, and especially southern border, among the 10 venerables, his reputation is the highest. As his current inheritor, Lu Weiyin has inherited this reputation as well. This person is going against me, but his true goal does not look to be so simple and is hidden in a layer of fog. Unfortunately, there is no such person in the memories of my previous life. The more he thought, the more Fang Yuan felt his 500 years of memories were not reliable. Naturally, there was also the possibility that the butterfly effect of his rebirth had spread until it involved Lu Weiyin. Fang Yuan slightly shook his head, forgetting about Lu Weiyin for the moment, and thought of Dao Ju's inheritance. He felt a huge regret. Dao Ju's true inheritance was definitely related to the 5 regions' regional walls. The 5 regions' regional walls would disappear without a trace in the future and the 5 regions would merge into one. Dao Ju's research in crossing the regional walls would look like a joke. But think about it carefully. Dao Zu could construct the 5 regional mountain range. Couldn't this method of imitating the regional walls be used to defend oneself? Especially for Fang Yuan, fighting in regional walls was extremely advantageous. It is a pity, a true pity. The situation did not allow me to take this inheritance. I had missed this true inheritance of Dao Zu by a hair's breadth. Fang Yuan's wisdom path attainment was not low. He had a strong premonition that missing this chance to obtain Dao Ju's inheritance was a severe loss to him. Chapter 1628. Present and Past Pavilion, 4 Zunzi. Dao Ju's true inheritance. If this was months ago, Fang Yuan might be able to use the southern border GU immortals to exchange for this inheritance. But now, the southern border captives that he had were already annexed. He had already killed the hostages. These southern border GU immortals were all rank 7 GU immortal experts, while Sha Cha had rank 8 cultivation level. The sovereign immortal aperture annexed them as well as the immortal aperture blessed lands in City Well. Fang Yuan's cultivation level rose rapidly. He went from rank 7 to rank 8, skipping the final rank 7 Grand Tribulation. Fang Yuan originally planned to continue capturing southern border GU immortals in the 5 regional mountain range before extorting them. But because of Lu Weiyin, Fang Yuan's plan was disrupted. Not only did his cultivation level rise, because the sovereign immortal aperture could annex his enemies perfectly, Fang Yuan's Dao marks also rose in huge numbers. Using perceivable Dao immortal GU to check them, Fang Yuan's current Dao mark accumulation was extremely deep. He originally had very little time path Dao marks, almost at the bottom, but it had emerged to become his number 1 path, having 73,000 Dao marks. Almost all of it was Sha Cha's contribution. He had truly become wealthy from one single robbery. With so many time path Dao marks, Fang Yuan's time path killer moves could be amplified by 74 times. Along with the rank 8 GU spring and summer, his battle strength was extremely high now. Within the 5 regional mountain range, he managed to block the attacks of many GU immortals at once. Of course, he had made use of the territorial advantage of the 5 regional walls. Trait, the southern border GU Immortals could not work together well and conflicted with each other. The second was water path Dao marks, reaching 60,000. He had a lot of water path accumulations. Fang Yuan had killed lone immortals Zhou Li, Wu Yihai, Yu Chan, and others, while many of the Eastern Sea lone immortals in City Well were also water path cultivators. Third was transformation path, having 50,000. It was originally first place, but had fallen to third place now. Fourth was soul path at 30,000. The immortal aperture's own Dao marks, as well as the yellow spring ghost martial statue earthly calamity and green lightning divine martial statue heavenly tribulation, along with other accumulations, added up to 29,000. The remaining hundreds were obtained from Fang Yuan's soul cultivation. According to Spectral Soul's true inheritance, after Million Man Soul, 10 Million Man Soul, 100 Million Man Soul, and Desolate Soul after reaching Desolate Soul, there would be 1,000 Dao marks on the soul. Next were Ice and Snow Path, Rule Path, Metal Path, Wood Path, Fire Path, Wind Path, and other common paths. They had about 20,000. After that were Dark Path, Light Path, Strength Path, Chi Path, Luck Path, Sound Path, Blood Light, and others, being around 10,000. And finally, Food Path, Phantom Path, and others were in the thousands and hundreds category. Next, the Dream Realms. Fang Yuan had already explored all of his dream realms in these few months. All of his different paths had grown to certain extents. The highest was still Refinement Path at Quasi-Supreme Grand Master attainment level. Second were Theft Path and Time Path at Great Grand Master level. Third were Blood Path, Strength Path, Star Path, Wisdom Path, and others. They were all at Grand Master level. Rule Path and Soul Path also entered this category. The paths below that will not be explained in detail. Unlike Dao marks, attainment level was harder to raise as it got higher. The ones with the most evident growth were Time Path, Soul Path, and Rule Path. Other than Dao marks and Dream Realms, Fang Yuan's development of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture had also risen greatly due to his annexing of Immortal Apertures. It had reached 15% development. And worth noting was that in Sha Cha's Immortal Aperture, Fang Yuan found a Year Essence pool. This way, Fang Yuan's Sovereign Immortal Aperture had 2 Year Essence pools. Other than these, Fang Yuan's greatest gains were 2 things. One was Luo Po Seal. Fang Yuan had always been trying to create this immortal killer move, he only succeeded recently. The other was an incomplete immortal GU house. Fang Yuan had wanted to build his own immortal GU house long ago, so that He Lu Lan, Bai Ning Bing, and the rest could fight in battle with him. To create this immortal GU house, Fang Yuan took reference from Secluded Residence, Cloud City, Dark Flow Giant City, Profound Ice House, Unbreakable Iron Fortress, Blood River Chariot, Nightmare Castle, Green Wave Pavilion, Weaving Cocoon Manor, Golden Altar, Regret Pool, Sacred Feather City, Baihe Palace, and other immortal GU houses, while the skeleton of the design was based on Graceful Chaotic Dual Stage. Several months ago, while extorting Southern Border's righteous path to exchange GU for GU, Fang Yuan obtained many crucial immortal GU that allowed him to create the skeleton. This immortal GU house was created by Fang Yuan himself. It was unprecedented. Because he needed to enter the River of Time, it mainly used Time Path Immortal GU. It had a comprehensive range of abilities and most excelled in concealment. Even though it was only a skeleton now, it had great battle strength in the 5 regional mountain range. Ying Wuxie and the rest relied on this to cooperate with Fang Yuan, successfully capturing Zhen Shenguang. In the River of Time, waves rose and fell, water splattered everywhere, creating beautiful rainbow light. Fang Yuan rode in the incomplete immortal GU house as he traveled slowly in the river. The rank 6 Time Path clone had already emerged from the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, standing beside him as he shut his eyes, sensing internally. Red Lotus Demon Venerable had left behind many true inheritances scattered in the River of Time. Spring Autumn Cicada was the key to finding them. But the River of Time was extremely huge. In order to find the several Stone Lotus Islands, other than luck, he also needed lots of time and energy to explore. It would be best if we could find a Red Lotus true inheritance in this exploration of the River of Time. But most importantly, we need to test Heavenly Court's arrangements and catch them off guard. If possible, we need to destroy their arrangements. Fang Yuan thought as he searched Zhen Shenguang's soul in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Zhen Shenguang's soul originally had light path Dao marks to protect it, but after Fang Yuan's Luo Po seal struck, the defense was destroyed. At the same time, Zhen Shenguang's soul was injured. He was on the verge of death. Precisely so, after Ying Wuxie used lead soul into dream, Zhen Shenguang was directly hit and fell asleep. The condition to use lead soul into Dream Killer move was to sense the soul and compare the strength between the enemy's soul and the user to determine the success. Being able to deal such damage to a rank 8 GU Immortal, it showed how powerful Luo Po Seal was. However, compared to Reverse Flow Protection Seal, and seeing how Fang Yuan used Luo Po Valley as the core of this move, it was not very surprising that it had such power. Right now, Zhen Shenguang's soul was extremely weak, he could not defend against Fang Yuan's method. Information was obtained by Fang Yuan continuously. What arrangements did Heavenly Court make? Zhen Shenguang must know about them. A moment later, Fang Yuan's brows eased as he found something. Oh! Time Path Immortal GU House Present and Past Pavilion. He had just thought of this when the water in front of him rose up. A huge pavilion was riding the waves and approaching. This pavilion was not covered on all four sides, it was very simplistic. The cover was made of yellow grass, the pillars were gray-white rocks that were not polished. There was a folding screen in the pavilion, it was the most elegant decoration in there. 4 GU Immortals stood in the pavilion, they all had rank 7 cultivation level. Looking at Fang Yuan's incomplete Immortal GU house, their eyes flashed with a dangerous light. This present and past pavilion is a pure Time Path Immortal GU house, it can inspect the past and present, it is best at investigation. Heavenly Court placed it here, the moment I entered, they noticed. Amazing, amazing. Fang Yuan's heart sank a little, but he praised on the surface, explaining to Ying Wuxie and the rest. Ying Wuxie, Bai Ningbing, and the rest frowned lightly or had dark gazes. They understood something. Fang Yuan's incomplete Immortal GU house was best at concealing traces, to think that present and past pavilion would be able to find them. This was like their advantage getting countered, even before fighting, they had gotten into a passive situation. Present and past pavilion got to Fang Yuan and the rest before stopping, staying 1,000 steps away from the incomplete Immortal GU house. Someone spoke coldly from within the pavilion. Central Continent's 4 Zunzi are here to guard the river, demon, don't think of advancing. A person behind him said, that's right, you'll have to step over our corpses if you want to pass. 4 Zunzi, Fang Yuan directly soul-searched Zhen Shenguang and quickly got the information of these 4 people. It turned out that these 4 were Time Path GU Immortals, they were quadruplets, found by Spirit Butterfly Valley when they were young and specially nurtured. They comprised 3 older brothers and 1 younger sister, they were Shang Zunzi, Zhang Zunzi, Sha Zunzi, and Xuan Guozi respectively. Chapter 1629, Great Power of Time Path. According to Zhen Shenguang's information, the 4 Zunzi had the same rank 7 cultivation level, they had a combination technique with extraordinary power, even against rank 8 GU Immortals, they could contest against them. Of course, they were only able to fight with that one move. After a few rounds, they would definitely lose to the rank 8 GU Immortal. They were not like the past Fang Yuan or Feng Juzhe with battle strength that could rival rank 8s. Even so, they were quite impressive. After nurturing the 4 Zunzi, they had been kept hidden by Spirit Butterfly Valley, they were not easily deployed. Heavenly Court wants to make arrangements in the River of Time, Spirit Butterfly Valley had to comply. 4 Zunzi 4 Time Path experts with great cooperation, they are indeed the best candidates to control present and past pavilion. Fang Yuan frowned slightly, the 4 Zunzi in present and past pavilion were not out of his expectations. Rank 8 GU Immortals that were also Time Path were very rare. Heavenly Court originally had Lord Huangshi, but he had died in the River of Time last time after Fang Yuan made use of the Stone Lotus Island. In order to deal with Fang Yuan and obstruct him in the River of Time, they had to choose people who were rank 7 Time Path GU Immortals, unless more antiques woke up from Heavenly Court's Immortal Graveyard. What made Fang Yuan more concerned was that other than present and past pavilion, Heavenly Court also had another Time Path Immortal GU house, Eternal Yacht. Present and past pavilion excels at investigation, it is nearby so it was the first to obstruct me. I cannot stay here, once the 4 Zunzi delay long enough, Eternal Yacht would arrive to help it will be disadvantageous for me to face 2 enemies at once. Heavenly Court had a huge advantage in this, even though they did not have Time Path rank 8s, they had members of other paths, along with 2 Immortal GU houses, Present and Past Pavilion and Eternal Yacht. In contrast, Fang Yuan only had 1 incomplete Immortal GU house, even though he became rank 8, Heilu Lan, Bai Ningbing, and the rest were very weak. Fang Yuan immediately opened his Immortal Aperture's entrance, letting out a second batch of Immemorial Year Beasts. He had used the first batch of Immemorial Year Beasts in the 5 regional mountain range, they were injured or killed by Southern Border's Righteous Path, Fang Yuan did not manage to retrieve them. But it did not matter, Fang Yuan had a second batch. After annexing Sha Cha's immortal aperture, Fang Yuan obtained a second-year essence pool. There were 2 immemorial year beasts inside. Furthermore, throughout the months, Fang Yuan had been using immemorial year beast fishing formation to lure immemorial year beasts to him, before capturing them inside the year essence pool. Thus, Fang Yuan obtained 2 batches of immemorial year beasts. The second batch had a total of 9 immemorial year beasts. The only flaw was that Fang Yuan did not manage to collect all 12 types of immemorial year beasts to form the ancient battle formation. He had tried to collect them during this period, but when he actually tried, he realized that getting a full set was very hard to achieve. He got the most number of immemorial year chickens, because recently, the River of Time was producing this type of year beasts 1. In Fang Yuan's second batch of immemorial year beasts, he had 5 chickens, more than half of the entire group. 9 immemorial year beasts roared as they charged towards present and past pavilion. Inside present and past pavilion, the 4 Zunzi had grim expressions. They activated present and past pavilion's power together. Pew! A huge wave that was 10 meters tall crashed towards the 9 immemorial year beasts. Immemorial year beasts were beasts that belonged in the River of Time. Present and past pavilion's waves could not obstruct their movement. Instantly, they charged through the obstacle, creating countless splashes as they approached present and past pavilion. The surface of present and past pavilion shined with brilliant light. The light shot up like a huge pillar. Swish swish swish. Waves came after waves. They were like moving walls that could attack or defend, constantly crashing into the immemorial year beasts. At Fang Yuan's will, the immemorial year beasts were instructed by him to cooperate. They shot out like an arrow, going past many walls of waves and reaching present and past pavilion. But all of a sudden, the 4 Zunzi shouted as the folding screen in present and past pavilion turned into misty green fog. The green fog flew into the battlefield as the immemorial year beasts got affected. Their speed fell as if they had landed in a marsh. The green fog settled and fused into the water of the River of Time, turning the surface of the water in this area jade green. Present and past pavilion shook intensely. The huge pillar of light faded and turned into green sparkles that enveloped the surroundings. The sound of crashing waves became even louder and more imposing. They were many times larger than before, 30 meters tall now. Not just that, tens of spirals formed on the surface of the River of Time. They became excellent traps to restrain the immemorial year beasts. The 9 immemorial year beasts were originally gathered together, but after the obstruction of the waves, their formation broke apart as they fell into their own respective battles. At once, present and past pavilion stood at the center and controlled the situation. Fang Yuan's immemorial year beasts were all at a disadvantage. The 4 Zunzi's expressions relaxed. Shang Zunzi let out a breath of air. We finally got past the initial period. This demon did not break through. Read more chapter on novel full. Xuan Guozi smiled. Present and past pavilion has control of the situation now. Even though Fang Yuan has many immemorial year beasts, he cannot gather them. He is not a threat. That's right. Sha Zunzi stroked his beard. Even though present and past pavilion is not his match anyway, as long as we can stall until eternal yacht arrives, by then our strength will surpass him. We will be able to win. Zhang Zunzi had a deep gaze. The demon is crafty. We cannot be careless. Let's play safe. He had just spoken when the immemorial year monkey closest to present and past pavilion suddenly jumped up and used an immortal killer move. It held a huge fan in its hands as it waved towards the front. Rank 8 immortal killer move, Summer Fan. Instantly, intense winds whipped, sweeping away everything. The entire battlefield became dark and gloomy. The huge waves resembling thick walls that were in front of the immemorial year monkey completely broke apart and collapsed due to Summer Fan. The immemorial year monkey snickered as it dived down. In present and past pavilion, the 4 Zunzi were shocked. They noticed that Fang Yuan was disguised as the immemorial year monkey. That demon has joined the battle. Impossible. We have the investigative killer move from Lady Ziwei. We can expose familiar face. How did he manage to deceive us? Fang Yuan sneered internally. He had spent the last few months to its fullest, using all of his time and energy without any waste. He had naturally modified familiar face. Fang Yuan finally got to the 4 Zunzi. Present and past pavilion burst out with brilliant light once again, while Fang Yuan relied on the immemorial year monkey's tough physique to punch with its strong fists, but present and past pavilion remained unmoving despite a loud sound. It is useless, right now. Present and past pavilion is anchored here in the River of Time. How can you move it? Xuan Guozi said with a nervous tone. Is that so? Fang Yuan's eyes shined with brilliant light. He used immortal killer move Spring Scissors at the next moment. Clip, clip. Spring scissors cut continuously. Present and past pavilion was able to defend itself initially, but soon, the brilliant light on it was unable to last as spring scissors cut away a corner of the roof after 5 to 6 snips. This is a rank 8 time path killer move, but how can it be so powerful? Even present and past pavilion cannot match it. How can this be? The 4 Zunzi were frantic. Fang Yuan's eyes were filled with cold flickering lightning. He originally had over 70,000 time path Dao marks, it was at rank 8 level. Now that he became an immemorial year monkey, his transformation path Dao marks also turned into time path Dao marks, adding another 50,000. Thus, he had over 120,000 time path Dao marks now. Ordinary rank 7 GU immortals would only have less than 30,000 Dao marks. 120,000 Dao marks was not common for rank 8 GU immortals, they normally would have to pass one myriad tribulation to get such an accumulation. He could amplify any time path killer move by 120 times its power. And Fang Yuan was already using 2 rank 8 immortal killer moves. Even though present and past pavilion had the territorial advantage, Fang Yuan's killer move was also boosted by the environment of the River of Time. Thus, his time path battle strength soared to the extent that even present and past pavilion could not endure his attacks. Fang Yuan's 2 killer moves forced present and past pavilion back time and time again. The 4 Zunzi tried to keep their stability in present and past pavilion, while attacking sometimes, but Fang Yuan did not even need defensive killer moves like Winter Coat, with just the immemorial year monkey's body, he could endure them. Hold on, a huge yacht was riding the waves, approaching them from afar. Several GU immortals were shouting and having nervous expressions. Eternal yacht was nearby. Too late. Fang Yuan snickered, he waved the summer fan and whipped up some tornadoes. Present and past pavilion was shaking from the impact, it was about to collapse. Spring scissors flew towards it and snipped again. A pillar in present and past pavilion broke as it collapsed entirely. Fang Yuan laughed loudly as he jumped above present and past pavilion, stomping with his huge immemorial year monkey feet. Boom! The whole of present and past pavilion broke apart into pieces, the 4 Zunzi were either dead or injured, they were all kicked into the River of Time. Fang Yuan and the incomplete immortal GU house left with ease. When Eternal Yacht arrived, it was already too late. The GU immortals in the yacht hesitated, should they save the 4 Zunzi or chase after Fang Yuan? 1. Chapter 1630. Stone Island Trap. Cough, cough. Shang Zunzi sprawled on the deck of Eternal Yacht as he coughed. He had drunk a lot of water, he was drenched. Beside him, Sha Zunzi had already fainted, his injuries were severe, his situation was not looking good. Rank 8 GU immortal Qingyi walked over and looked at Shang Zunzi calmly, the other 2 have been swept away by the River of Time, we cannot find them. Shang Zunzi breathed roughly for a while, he forcibly stood up, taking a glance at Sha Zunzi before speaking with a pale expression, they have already died, that demon Fang Yuan is very powerful. How is the salvaging of present and past pavilion going? The 4 Zunzi were siblings with deep kinship, but right now, Shang Zunzi was more concerned about present and past pavilion, he did not pay attention to the dying Sha Zunzi nor did he display anger or sadness. Qingyi smiled. The core immortal GU have not been destroyed, we have recovered all of them. That's good. Shang Zunzi let out a breath of air, his expression easing. Qingyi nodded. I have already prepared the room for you. Shang Zunzi. Thank you, I will go and revive my siblings now. It turned out that these quadruplets, with their very close bloodline, managed to create a unique killer move. Even if 3 of them died, as long as 1 remained, they could use the killer move to rapidly revive the other 3. Precisely so, Shang Zunzi did not feel any sadness. A moment later, the 4 Zunzi returned to the deck with no injuries, entering battle once again. 4. Fang Yuan's second batch of immemorial year beasts were surrounding Eternal Yacht, attacking from all sides, desperately drawing their attention. The river water was turbulent, sounds of waves crashing could be heard by Fang Yuan. Right now, he had returned to his original appearance, he entered the incomplete immortal GU house to rest. With this incomplete immortal GU house, Fang Yuan had a base, it was very useful. Eternal Yacht did not chase us, after leaving the battlefield for a while, Fang Yuan relaxed his mind slightly. The speed of the incomplete immortal GU house could not match Eternal Yacht, its specialty was in concealing its traces when moving. With present and past pavilion around, the incomplete immortal GU house could not move stealthily. But Eternal Yacht could not detect the incomplete immortal GU house, otherwise, why would it not pursue him with such an advantage in speed? We are temporarily safe. Ying Wuxie breathed out deeply, feeling some lingering fear, it was quite dangerous earlier. Indeed, if sect leader did not destroy present and past pavilion, we might have fallen into a tough battle and would not be able to escape. Fairy Miao Yin smiled. Bai Ningbing was silent at the side. He Lu Lan looked outside the Immortal Gu house, at the Grand River of Time. Fang Yuan's time path clone was frowning with his eyes shut. He was trying to track the islands, but his vital Gu Spring Autumn Cicada had no reactions. In fact, according to Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's deduction, the higher Spring Autumn Cicada's rank was, the larger the range of its detection to find Red Lotus, true inheritance. Fang Yuan's Spring Autumn Cicada was only rank 6, even though he had many Immortal Gu recipes. Fang Yuan's multiple attempts at refining it ended in failure. It was regrettable, but Fang Yuan had done his best already. For the last few months, he had put in all his effort to cultivate Soul Path, explore Dream Realms, modify killer moves, extort Southern Border's Righteous Path, plot for the overall situation, defend against deductions, annex Immortal Apertures, and so on. He had expended his time and energy. It was already a miracle that he could squeeze out some time to refine Spring Autumn Cicada. But the real miracle did not happen. Fang Yuan's refinement attempts failed. Even though Spring Autumn Cicada is rank 6, I have already made up for the flaws in other aspects. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with deep confidence. He had planned deeply before entering the River of Time. Fang Yuan had already used luck path methods like burning soul bursting luck, he had only stopped after reaching the limit. In this vast River of Time, finding 1 or 2 stone lotus islands was purely dependent on luck. Roar! The river water suddenly became turbulent as sounds of beast growls entered their ears. There are 2 immemorial year beasts fighting ahead. After inspecting it, Ying Wuxie alerted. Looking at it closely, these 2 immemorial year beasts had already fought for some time, they were near their limit. Fang Yuan laughed, wasn't this the work of luck path? He flew out of the incomplete Immortal Gu house and activated Familiar Face, becoming a part of the river water as he blended into the River of Time. Comment. Next, he opened a trace of his Immortal Aperture's entrance and activated the immemorial year beast fishing formation. The 2 immemorial year beasts detected the delicacy, their movements stopped, they charged towards Fang Yuan like they were competing in a race. They did not find any enemies, but they sensed a tributary of the River of Time under the river water. The immemorial year beasts did not think much, they charged into this tributary of the River of Time. This was naturally Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture. If it were in the past, Fang Yuan would not dare to lure these immemorial year beasts, they would cause huge destruction to the sovereign immortal aperture if they went in. But now, times were different. Fang Yuan had year essence pools, 2 in fact. The year essence pools were connected to the tributary of the River of Time like huge dams. The immemorial year beasts were lured by the formation, following the tributary of the River of Time until they rushed into the dam, becoming trapped. Fang Yuan smiled heartily as he stopped the transformation killer move. He flew back into the incomplete Immortal Gu house. Those 2 immemorial year monkeys were trapped in the year essence pools, they could not find any food and sensed something amiss, but how could they return to the River of Time now? Fang Yuan used his enslavement path methods and quickly subdued these 2 immemorial year beasts. The incomplete Immortal Gu house moved stealthily as it searched for a stone lotus island. Fang Yuan met many year beasts along the way, he took in all of them, luring them into the year essence pools and subduing them. Soon, Fang Yuan's number of immemorial year beasts rose to 6. And even more ancient and desolate level year beasts. Other than year beasts, there were other lifeforms like day beasts, month beasts, or dark web spiders in the River of Time. Fang Yuan had chosen to ignore them all. The use of the year essence pools was amply displayed here. With Fang Yuan could lure immemorial year beasts while keeping sovereign immortal aperture very safe. Without their restriction, the immemorial year beasts would be able to move along the tributary of the River of Time and go to anywhere in the sovereign immortal aperture. Because the tributary was present all over the whole sovereign immortal aperture. Wait, after moving for a while, Fang Yuan's time path clone opened his eyes, bursting with bright light. He seemed to have found something. The time path clone quickly shut his eyes as he frowned deeply, trying to sense it. Next, he pointed in one direction. There seems to be something there. Spring Autumn Cicada shuddered a little. The time path clone spoke with uncertainty. But this was the only clue. Fang Yuan manipulated the incomplete Immortal Gu house and changed directions, going towards that place. As the distance shortened, Fang Yuan's clone felt increasingly happy. The feeling is getting stronger, our luck is really not bad, we found it so quickly. A while later, in the vision of Fang Yuan and the rest, a thin layer of fog appeared. The incomplete Immortal Gu house halted for a moment before rushing into the fog with no hesitation. The fog was extraordinary, it could obscure one's sense of direction and confuse them, but using the key spring Autumn Cicada, Feng Yuan's clone could move in the proper direction. The fog got thicker, the river water also moved slower due to its effect, it was not as turbulent as the water outside. Vaguely, the silhouette of an island appeared before Feng Yuan and the rest. Stone Lotus Island, Red Lotus True Inheritance. Ying Wuxie stared wide and shouted loudly. Bai Ningbing and the rest also started to breathe roughly. When the incomplete Immortal Gu house got to the periphery of the Stone Lotus Island, the island shot out a white light that hit the incomplete Immortal Gu house directly. What is going on? Fairy Miao Yin screamed. Oh no, this is a trap. Feng Yuan's eyes shined with a sharp light, it was too late to escape now. The entire incomplete Immortal Gu house shook intensely, it could not resist the strong attacks outside. Demon, I have been waiting for you for a long time. A rank 8 Gu immortal with a tall muscular body appeared on the Stone Lotus Island. At the next moment, his killer move that had been prepared for a while hit the incomplete Immortal Gu house. Boom, the incomplete Immortal Gu house broke apart at once. Chapter 1631. Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Feng Yuan's incomplete Immortal Gu house did not excel in defense, after it was struck, it broke apart. Feng Yuan and the rest quickly defended themselves inside the Immortal Gu house. A huge amount of flames moved like poisonous snakes and burned all of the Gu worms in their way, before they gathered towards Feng Yuan in an encircling movement. Feng Yuan shouted as he used Immortal Killer move Winter Coat, his body was immediately covered by a layer of snow-white frost. The frost not only protected him, at this crucial moment, it spread out and protected the Time Path clone, Heilu Lan, Ying Wuxie, Bai Ningbing, and the rest. In this regard, Winter Coat was better than Reverse Flow Protection Seal. Because Reverse Flow Protection Seal only defended himself, it could not help others, but Winter Coat was able to affect other people. Winter Coat Killer move blocked the Fire Snake's attacks, but at the next moment, the old man on the Stone Lotus Island shouted, by the power of flames, snakes turn into dragons. Whoosh! The flames burst out with incredible heat, the snakes coiled around each other, turning into a huge flame dragon that was 100 feet long, possessing huge claws and fangs. The bright red flame dragon slashed through Winter Coat before charging at Feng Yuan. Feng Yuan wanted to open his Immortal Aperture's entrance to store the Immortals back in his aperture, but this Fire Snake Killer move actually had a variation. With the old man's deep experience, Feng Yuan had no time for that. The flame dragon opened its mouth as it soared down from above. Feng Yuan and the rest looked up as their faces were red from the light of the flames, the intense heat felt like it was going to grill them alive. Bai Ningbing, Heilu Lan, and the rest all revealed looks of despair on their faces. This flame dragon was not an ordinary rank 8 killer move, it had extraordinary power, even Bai Ningbing's Bai Shang killer move could not escape from it. Their only hope was Feng Yuan. Feng Yuan's ears, nose, and eyes were bleeding. Winter Coat Killer move was broken, Feng Yuan suffered a rank 8 killer move backlash. A large number of mortal Gu were killed, thankfully his core immortal Gu were still alive, they were damaged but still usable. Feng Yuan was in a difficult situation. The Time Path clone, Bai Ningbing, Heilu Lan, and the rest were behind him, their cultivation level was too low, they could not block the flame dragon. If they had the incomplete Immortal Gu house, they could still participate in the fight, but the old man was too perceptive, he destroyed the incomplete Immortal Gu house from the start. If Feng Yuan stayed and protected them, not only did he have no good methods now that Winter Coat was broken, even if he did, it would be too dangerous. Because the other party wanted to force Feng Yuan to fight them, once he protects them and fights, the old man's plan would succeed. Feng Yuan was almost certain that the other party still had killer moves prepared. Once Feng Yuan fights with the flame dragon, the old man would grasp the tempo of the battle, he would control the battle's flow from now on. Instantly, Feng Yuan made up his mind, he moved out like lightning, dodging the flame dragon. The old man laughed frenziedly, a true demon indeed. Then burned to death. The flame dragon ignored Feng Yuan, it charged down. Feng Yuan snorted coldly, he turned around and attacked the old man. The old man diverted his gaze at Feng Yuan, seeing that he was approaching, the old man smiled and revealed a sinister expression. Feng Yuan's heart sank, he attacked so that the old man would divert attention to defend himself, but the old man was similarly courageous and did not fear a frontal assault. Most possibly, he still had arrangements on this Stone Lotus Island, he was extremely confident. Feng Yuan stretched out his finger, his hard work over the last few months had not been in vain, Spring Scissors was unleashed and shot towards the old man. The scissors was very sharp, but when it landed on the old man, his hair started to burn as it turned into a flame cloak, protecting him all around and blocking Spring Scissors. Ha ha ha, I named this move Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. I made it from the inspiration I gained from Verdant Great Sun's flame hair from less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than, it is my proudest creation. To speak the truth, even though I am a Fire Path GU Immortal, I am more skilled in defense than offense. Not just Spring Scissors, even Summer Fan is useless against me. The old man laughed loudly. But at the next moment, the old man's smile faded. It turned out that the flame dragon had returned empty-handed, be it Fang Yuan's Time Path clone, Bai Ningbing, He Lu Lan, or others, they were still alive. The old man's eyelids twitched, he licked his dry lips as he said darkly, "This is a dream realm." It turned out that while Fang Yuan dodged the flame dragon, he did not abandon his clone or the other GU immortals, he had ordered Ying Wuxie to self-detonate at the crucial moment. After the 5 regional mountain range, Ying Wuxie had changed bodies, using a body with the pure dream reality seeker physique again. Precisely because of the dream path Dao marks on the pure dream reality seeker physique, he was able to use lead soul into dream and successfully affect rank 8 GU immortal Zhen Shenguang. Now that the pure dream reality seeker physique body self-detonated, Ying Wuxie's soul was trapped in the dream realm. The other immortals were very close to him, they were covered by the dream realm. With the manifestation of the dream realm, all other paths could not affect it. The old man's flame dragon had great power, but against the illusory dream realm, it was useless. HMPH, you are truly a scheming demon, but you will die today. The old man stomped his feet, flying up into the sky as the stone lotus island below him scattered into dust and sand. The old man wore a flame cloak as he approached Fang Yuan like a blazing meteor. Spring Scissors followed after him as it attacked, but the flames defended against them and the old man was completely unharmed. Fang Yuan flew backwards as he used Summer Fan. Intense winds blew, the old man's flame cloak was flickering, but it seemed like the fire was growing with the wind, becoming even larger. The old man smiled as he exposed his sharp teeth. How about that? My Verdant Sun Flame Cloak is unparalleled, have you felt despair yet? Ha ha ha. Like what the old man has said, Summer Fan and Spring Scissors were useless against Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Not only that, as they got closer, an intense feeling of drunkenness assaulted Fang Yuan. But soon, Fang Yuan used his Wisdom Path killer move and regained clarity in his mind. Verdant Sun Flame Cloak not only contained the extreme profundity of Fire Path, it also mimicked the effects of Human Path and Food Path. As the old man got closer to him, the greater the feeling of drunkenness would be. Fang Yuan tried his best to retreat, wanting to pull some distance from the old man, but against his wishes, the enemy's speed surpassed him by quite a bit. Demon, you are trapped in the formation, where can you run to? Obediently accept your death, the old man shouted. Earlier, the Stone Lotus Island was merely an illusion, its true essence was a super time path immortal formation set up in the River of Time. This formation was very powerful, even Fang Yuan could not notice it. As it activated now, a formation space was created, Fang Yuan was trapped inside, restricting him from using omnidirectional travel, fixed immortal travel, and other similar methods. Fang Yuan had used a time path formation earlier to ambush Southern Border's righteous path. Now, Heavenly Court did the same against Fang Yuan. But Heavenly Court put in much more effort than Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan could not create such a time path formation in the River of Time. With his current strength, he could only create a time path immortal formation near a tributary of the River of Time in the outside world. Even for time path great experts in history, few could create immortal formations inside the River of Time. The person who could achieve this to the limit was Red Lotus Demon Venerable. This person had already surpassed the realms of time path immortal formations, he could directly create artificial secluded domains of heaven and earth, Stone Lotus Islands, to influence segments of the River of Time and take control of it. Heavenly Court had been looking for the Stone Lotus Islands and had yet to find one, but they were not without gains. This time path immortal formation was one of their achievements. The formation restricted Fang Yuan, making him unable to evade or dodge. The old man got closer, Fang Yuan snorted, instead of retreating, he charged at the old man. The old man was slightly surprised, but he quickly reacted as he waved his hands, sending waves of flames towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan had no fear, he rammed forward. The huge flames reversed and went back to attack the old man. It was the immortal killer move, Reverse Flow Protection Seal. The old man was a little flustered, he defended against his own killer move, but at this moment, Fang Yuan had already arrived in front of him. Fang Yuan was ruthless, he slammed his body into the old man. Reverse flow protection seal against verdant sun flame cloak. At the next moment, Fang Yuan and the old man both flew backwards, they were nearly evenly matched in this contest. The old man had lost by a slight bit, but soon, his flame cloak burned again as he returned to his peak condition. Reverse flow protection seal was extremely effective against attacks. But verdant sun flame cloak was a defensive killer move, the reflected damage was quite little. This is reverse flow protection seal. Hey, he found out so quickly. The old man's gaze flickered eerily. It turned out that this time path immortal formation created an isolated inner formation space. There was a core effect, it was that this environment weakened time path. Heavenly Court's original intention was to use this formation to deal with the Stone Lotus Islands of Red Lotus, true inheritance. These islands were artificially created time path secluded domains of heaven and earth. Once the formation encapsulates them, they would be weakened. Precisely so, Fang Yuan's spring scissors and summer fan killer moves were so ineffective against verdant sun flame cloak. Verdant sun flame cloak was very powerful indeed, it was the peak creation of fire path, and even extended to contain the profundities of human path and food path. Comment. In terms of intricacy, reverse flow protection seal was very roughly made and straightforward. In contrast, Myriad Self comprised both enslavement path and strength path, it was on par with verdant sun flame cloak in this aspect. Summer fan and spring scissors were ordinary, they only contained rank 8 immortal GU and were amplified by time path Dao marks to gain such great power. They could not break verdant sun flame cloak but could have caused great damage. Yet in this environment, they had a mild effect. Fang Yuan realized this and daringly dispelled winter coat, instead using reverse flow protection seal to regain his footing in the battle. Chapter 1632, You Lied. Immortal killer move, Myriad Dragon. Howl. At once, myriad dragons flew in a sea of silvery scales, attacking the old man like a tidal wave. After understanding the effect of the time path formation, Fang Yuan gave up on his strongest time path methods, he started to use other methods. In this aspect, Fang Yuan had many useful methods comparatively. The old man snorted, showing no surprise on his face. Before coming here, he had already made ample preparation, he knew about Fang Yuan's myriad dragon killer move. Slippery eels, what can they do to me? The old man stood arrogantly in the sky, instead of dodging, he watched as the myriad dragons approached him. His verdant sun flame cloak was blazing, his entire body was covered, resembling a huge fireball. The myriad dragons appeared before the old man, but they started to screech weirdly, the sword dragons were all drowsy as they randomly flew around, their ferocious attacks had been stopped. When each sword dragon's drunkenness got to a certain level, they would start to blaze up with a loud sound. The sword dragons turned into a pile of flames before rapidly vanishing. Looking at the field, the old man was unmoving while the myriad dragons burned to death. Even though there were countless dragons, the moment they got close to the old man, they died, they were of no threat to him. Immortal killer move verdant sun flame cloak. Fang Yuan's pupils shrunk, he finally saw the power of this move. It was both offensive and defensive, it was a counter to Fang Yuan's myriad dragon killer move. Then let's try Luo Po seal. Fang Yuan thought to himself. He had already used familiar face to disguise as a sword dragon, he blended into the army of dragons, getting closer to the old man. Next, he pretended to be drunk as he got closer and unleashed Luo Po seal. Fang Yuan got exposed when the killer move had just activated, Luo Po seal's aura was too great, it could not be hidden. The old man's gaze shot like lightning as he charged at Fang Yuan without fearing Luo Po seal. Boom boom boom. The old man attacked Fang Yuan in a frenzy but reverse flow protection seal kept him safe. Fang Yuan did not speak, he endured the old man's attacks until Luo Po seal was finally ready to strike. The old man was on guard now, the situation was not good for Fang Yuan. Eventually, he barely managed to use Luo Po seal, but it scraped past the old man's shoulder, only half landing. The old man immediately felt a sense of emptiness in his heart, at the same time, the blazing cloak on his back weakened by 40%. This move is amazing, but it cannot break my verdant sun flame cloak. The old man laughed loudly as he retreated, using methods to heal himself. His speed was faster than Fang Yuan, it was hard to land consecutive hits on him. The old man found time to catch a breather despite having the disadvantage. A moment later, his injuries healed mostly and his aura regained its peak state, the verdant sun flame cloak also started to blaze up again. Luo Po seal had terrifying might but the old man was very alert, he did not give Fang Yuan any more chances. His verdant sun flame cloak's defenses were superb, Fang Yuan could sense that in battle, it was like how his enemies felt when facing reverse flow protection seal. This old man's soul is not his weakness. Even though he only grazed past him, Fang Yuan obtained valuable intel. Luo Po seal was targeted at the enemy's soul, but this old man was an experienced rank 8 GU immortal with deep foundations. He did not have any evident weaknesses, his soul's defense was quite tight. Fang Yuan estimated that even if Luo Po seal hit directly, it could not kill the old man in one move. Luo Po seal had to be paired with lead soul into dream to deal with Heavenly Court's rank 8 GU immortals. But at the start of the battle, the old man destroyed Fang Yuan's incomplete immortal GU house, causing Ying Wuxie and the rest to slumber in the dream realm. If the incomplete immortal GU house was still around, Fang Yuan would have Ying Wuxie's lead soul into dream to help him, he would have the advantage against this old man. But the old man had ambushed and destroyed the incomplete immortal GU house. Not only were Fang Yuan's losses severe, he lost his initiative and was kept on the back foot for a long time. This situation was naturally very dangerous for Fang Yuan. He had fallen into an ambush, he had to escape quickly. Immortal killer move, Myriad Dragon. Fang Yuan continued to activate Myriad Dragon as more sword dragons filled this formation space. The old man had the advantage, but he did not relax his mind or become careless. He squinted a little as Fang Yuan hid among the sword dragons again. At this time, should he use an investigative method to find Fang Yuan or eliminate these sword dragons first? If he did not kill Fang Yuan, there would be an endless stream of sword dragons, but the old man had clear awareness. He thought, I'm afraid my investigative method cannot expose familiar face. Fang Yuan is so crafty, he must have other plans. The old man had the initiative now. He spoke arrogantly and wildly, but his mind was extremely calm and composed. He knew that when opponents of his and Fang Yuan's level fight, with such rich battle experience on both sides, even though he had the initiative now and could hold the advantage, if he made a mistake, Fang Yuan would turn the situation around. The old man roared as flames started to burn around, spreading out like a sea of fire. The sword dragons melted in candles within the flame. The old man's decision made Fang Yuan quite troubled. He hesitated for a while before persisting with his tactic. He controlled the myriad dragons to charge at the formation space. This formation was clearly controlled by Central Continent GU Immortals. Seeing that the myriad dragons were attacking, they wanted to retaliate, but the old man quickly transmitted to them, don't move. Fang Yuan has very high time path and wisdom path attainment levels. The more the formation activates, the more flaws he will notice. I will handle these eels, don't be anxious. The old man did not want to give Fang Yuan any chances. The sea of fire killed the sword dragons at a rapid rate. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. He suddenly appeared in front of the dream realm. Immortal killer move, pure dream reality seeker transformation. He quickly gathered the dream realm and turned the lump of dream realm into a pure dream reality seeker physique body. Oh no, this demon is so scheming. The old man's expression changed. Fang Yuan used many feints and tactics. It was hard to see through his plans after all. Fang Yuan opened a sliver of his immortal aperture's entrance, wanting to send the time path clone, Ying Wuxia's soul, Heilu Lan, and Bai Ningbing inside. 1. But at this moment, the old man screamed angrily behind him, demon, forget about it. Boom. A killer move was used, bursting out with immense strength and sound. Fang Yuan felt a chill. He did not need to turn around to know that this move was the old man's strongest offensive method. I won't make it. Fang Yuan did not have enough time to react. His heart sank to rock bottom. At the crucial moment, he went all out. His time path killer move was used as the time around suddenly became faster. He placed the immortals into the immortal aperture, and at the same time, he felt like a giant had landed a punch on his back. The huge force sent him flying like a cannonball. He lost 15% of reverse flow river's water. The impact made Fang Yuan's head dizzy. He directly spat out a mouthful of blood. He was only able to save a portion of them. Fairy Miao Yin could not be reached. She was still unconscious earlier. After being engulfed in the huge flames, she was burned to ashes. Not a bit of her body remained. Fang Yuan shouted loudly as he used Myriad Dragon, charging around the place, while he started to act and destroy the formation. The old man was a bit nervous now. He started to attack Fang Yuan. But Fang Yuan had reverse flow protection seal to defend him. He ignored the old man and only targeted the formation. Fang Yuan, don't think of getting out, that is merely a delusion. The old man roared as his flames engulfed Fang Yuan. Ha ha ha, you are simply struggling at death's door. The old man got behind Fang Yuan and slammed them on his back like two huge tablets. Fang Yuan was sent flying. Fang Yuan was bleeding from all 7 orifices. It was quite a pathetic sight, yet his eyes were still cold as ice. He continued to attack the time path formation. It is useless. How can you break such an amazing formation? Look at your reverse flow river, it is about to be fully expended. The old man mocked. He attacked with greater intensity, killing intent surged as he behaved in a frenzied manner. Even though reverse flow river could reflect attacks, the old man also had his verdant sun flame cloak. He endured the reflected attacks as he continued to expend the reverse flow river water. He was not wrong. Fang Yuan's reverse flow river had gone through many battles, a lot of it was used up already. As he continued to attack, the river water level fell. Fang Yuan's robe also started to become thin and flimsy. Suddenly, Fang Yuan roared as he stopped attacking, preparing Luo Po seal again. The old man's pupils shrunk, his attacks changed, he started to prepare his defenses against Luo Po seal. Fang Yuan completed the preparation as he flicked his palm. Instead of attacking the old man, he shot it towards a corner of the formation. Gu, with a shocked voice, a rank 7 GU Immortal controlling the formation was hit by Luo Po seal, he died on the spot. How? The other Central Continent GU Immortals were also shocked and lost for words. Fang Yuan was able to find a formation core in such a short time and kill the person inside. Luo Po seal was very powerful even against rank 8 GU Immortals, not to mention these rank 7s. Quick, that formation core has been destroyed, quickly move and fix the hole. A GU Immortal shouted. On the other end, the old man grunted as he attacked Fang Yuan again. Fang Yuan used the extremely depleted reverse flow protection seal to defend himself while attacking the formation himself. With many of his methods used, Heavenly Court's meticulously created time path immortal formation collapsed area by area, it could not hold up against Fang Yuan's unraveling. How can this be? Fang Yuan's speed of deduction was extremely shocking to everyone. Quick, over there, someone shouted. A loophole formed in the formation, connecting with the outside world. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. Bye. You cannot leave. Flames swept over, turning into the old man. He hid the loophole behind himself desperately. The other Central Continent GU Immortals also let out a sigh of relief. But Fang Yuan shot out like an arrow towards the old man, saying coldly with deep killing intent, "Get lost." The old man snickered. "It is useless, you cannot deal with my verdant sun flame cloak." The distance between them shrunk. Central Continent's GU Immortals quickly changed their formation. Someone shouted, "Block Fang Yuan, we only need 5 breaths of time to change the formation." This is a complete change, it would be 10 times as difficult as before to deduce it afterwards. The old man scoffed. Not just 5 breaths, even if His eyes suddenly widened, his face turned stiff, he looked at Fang Yuan's killer move preparation with deep disbelief. Fang Yuan's aura was completely concealed, not a bit leaked out. He clapped both hands together in front of his chest. Next, his right hand which was in contact with his left hand moved, it was like he was trying to pull out something precious, as his right palm slowly clenched into a fist. Afterwards, his left hand was still at the original position, but his tightly clenched right fist was lifted, above his chest and shoulder, above his head, until it was fixed right above his head. This move the old man no longer smiled, there was nervousness in his eyes and even some fear. Indeed, this was the immortal killer move, 5-finger fist heart sword. Time passed. At the first breath. First finger. Fang Yuan had a cold expression as he raised the thumb of his right hand. From the right fist that he held high in the air, a sword light shot out. Fast, fast, fast. The speed of the sword light was beyond belief. The moment it was shot out, it pierced the old man's forehead. The old man shuddered, the flames on the verdant sun flame cloak on his body weakened by half. Second breath. Second finger. The old man reacted, he roared as the verdant sun flame cloak started blazing again. But the sword light landed again, weakening the verdant sun flame cloak. Third breath. Third finger. The old man's expression turned pale, he wanted to grit his teeth, the verdant sun flame cloak on his back had expanded like a fireball, earlier it was the size of a horse carriage but now it was the size of a house. The old man roared, "This is the peak condition of my verdant sun flame cloak. Come, your attacks cannot break through." The moment he said that, the sword light landed as the verdant sun flame cloak burst like a balloon, it returned to its former condition. 5-finger fist heart sword got stronger as it progressed. Fourth breath, fourth finger. The old man desperately blocked the fourth sword, his expression was pale, he took a huge step back, verdant sun flame cloak was like a flickering candle, it was extremely thin now. Fifth breath. Fang Yuan snickered. What cloak, it is laughable. Li Huang, you can start preparing your funeral. It is over, the fifth sword. The old man's heart jumped, his eyes were filled with terror. No, Bo Qing, don't even dream of killing me. The flame blazed, he turned into dozens of figures as he flew in all directions. Fang Yuan ignored him, he flew outside the loophole, escaping into the river of time. He had just flown out when the time path formation changed completely, the earlier loopholes were fixed, it had become whole again, securely locking the formation space inside. But Fang Yuan had already escaped, the time path formation was completely silent inside. The central continent GU immortals controlling the formation were all dumbfounded. The flame clones dissipated slowly, until only the old man's main body remained. At this moment, his face was flushing red and white, anger, fear, humiliation, hatred, and killing intent, they filled his heart entirely, turning his expression distorted and filled with terrifying hatred. Suddenly, the old man raised his head and roared. There was no fifth sword. 1. Fang Yuan. You lied. 1. Chapter 1633, Cutting Edge Slays Enemies. After a tough battle of brains and brawn, Fang Yuan finally got out of Heavenly Court's ambush and escaped into the River of Time. Once he left the formation, Fang Yuan felt the difficulty of using reverse flow protection seal raised by several times, he quickly stopped it and changed to the time path killer move Winter Coat. Immortal killer move, familiar face. At the next moment, Fang Yuan turned into an immemorial year beast. Because he had transformed in the River of Time, transformation path was also greatly suppressed. Even though he managed to use the move, his immortal essence expenditure was tens of times as much as usual. Thankfully, familiar face's core was attitude GU, it only expended mental energy. Thus, on the whole, familiar face used very little immortal essence, Fang Yuan could sustain it. Plop, Fang Yuan turned into an immemorial year snake as he went into the River of Time, slithering away. We are finally out of the encirclement, escaping the time path formation. Fang Yuan felt a little glad. The earlier situation was quite dangerous. The longer it dragged on, the more tight Heavenly Court's defenses would be, and the lower chances Fang Yuan would have of survival. This time, there were two reasons why he could escape. Firstly, Fang Yuan had made the time path clone use the light of wisdom to break the formation. Because of the light of wisdom, Fang Yuan's wisdom path abilities far exceeded Heavenly Court's imagination, he could catch them off guard. Secondly, he used Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword. Fang Yuan had rank 8 cultivation level, with his own white lychee immortal essence, he could use Wisdom Sword Immortal GU. This Immortal GU was one of the core of Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword to begin with, thus, Fang Yuan could use the fourth sword of Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword. This was his current limit, to use the fifth sword, he would need other core sword path Immortal GU. I expended a lot of rank 8 immortal essence. Fang Yuan inspected his immortal aperture, his immortal essence storage had fallen to a dangerous level. Even though Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture had a fast time flow and could accumulate white lychee immortal essence rapidly, he had gone through fierce battles consecutively, especially earlier against the old man Li Huang, he had expended a lot when breaking out of the time path formation. I should escape first. In this situation, Fang Yuan only had one thought. This was the wisest decision, a frontal face-off was the most stupid idea. Fang Yuan, where are you going? An angry growl could be heard behind him. Fang Yuan turned around and his heart jumped. 3 immortal GU houses were chasing after him with threatening auras. The left one was Eternal Yacht, it was tall and rode with the wind. On the deck, rank 8 GU immortal Qingyi, the rank 7 GU immortals 4 Zunzi and others were standing with a righteous aura. The middle one was 3 autumn yellow crane platform, it was elegant and grand, the orange roof resembled cranes with their wings spread out. The immortal GU house was radiating 3 layers of autumn light, it was quite extraordinary. The right one was Shark Flow Lever, the huge lever was white like jade, a rank 8 GU immortal was standing on it, he wore a suit of blue star armor and had a rough appearance. There were 7 huge sharks in front of the lever, they had sharp teeth and were dragging the huge lever ahead. 3 rank 7 immortal GU houses, at least 3 rank 8 GU immortals, with many rank 7 GU immortals. Fang Yuan's heart continued to sink, at this moment, he could see Heavenly Court's huge determination to get rid of him. Even though Fang Yuan became an immemorial year snake, his speed was not fast. With the destruction of the incomplete immortal GU house, he could not conceal himself. Both sides continued to shrink in distance, the 3 immortal GU houses attacked from afar. Fang Yuan used Autumn Perception Killer move as eyes seemed to grow on his back, he managed to evade agilely. If he could not dodge, he would use Winter Coat to endure the attacks forcefully. Winter Code was amplified in the River of Time, together with Fang Yuan's Time Path Dao marks. It displayed incredible defensive power. Even though it was not as amazing as Reverse Flow Protection Seal, it was on par with it here. This cannot go on. The situation was getting worse. Fang Yuan tried to find a solution. Luo Po Seal took a long time to activate. In the River of Time, the duration would be even longer, and the overall strength would be weaker. Heavenly Court would be fully on guard against him. He could not rely on Luo Po Seal to turn the situation around. Myriad Self, Myriad Dragon, Strength Path Giant Hand, Emperor Yama, and others, they were the same. Fang Yuan could only rely on Summer Fan, Spring Scissors, and other time path methods. But the three immortal GU houses after Fang Yuan were strong as fortresses. Spring Scissors and Summer Fan were unable to do anything to them. As they continued to fight, Fang Yuan's immortal essence storage fell continuously. The situation was getting worse. Heavenly Court chased after Fang Yuan with rising morale. Their expressions were very optimistic. Suddenly, at the river ahead, a change occurred. Huge fountains were starting to burst out. Oh no, this is the Sudden Spring River segment. This demon excels in luck path. He has incredible luck. He is very hard to kill. As expected, something occurred here. Follow him, don't let him escape. Heavenly Court's side shouted, showing nervous expressions on their faces. Fang Yuan dived into the Sudden Spring River segment. The sudden springs were very dangerous. They carried the might of time path. If the scale was large enough, they would definitely be able to take the lives of rank 8 GU immortals. In most situations, Fang Yuan would avoid them, but now, this Sudden Spring River segment was his hope of escaping. The immemorial year snake slithered in the river. Sudden springs erupted around Fang Yuan time and time again, but they were not much of an obstacle for him. Fang Yuan had Luck Inspection Immortal GU, while the Sovereign Immortal Body had non-conflicting Dao marks. He could evidently sense that his luck was falling rapidly. Luck Path usually could not be sensed, but at this moment, it displayed its incredible power. Read more chapter on novel full. Heavenly Court's three immortal GU houses had a hard time chasing him. The moment they entered the Sudden Spring River segment, Eternal Yacht and 3 Autumn Yellow Crane platform were hit by sudden springs immediately, pushed up forcefully. They spent a lot of effort to dive down. Even Shark Flow Lever was hit. Fang Yuan often encountered rank 6 or 7 level small to mid-sized sudden springs, while Heavenly Court faced rank 8 level big sudden springs. Even though Fang Yuan met many obstacles and was often obstructed by the sudden springs, Heavenly Court's group was more like a bunch of sick people climbing a mountain. Their encounters were clearly contrasted. Heavenly Court's members had dark expressions. They felt deeply vexed, wanting to spit blood and anger. It seems that Feng Juzhe is not part of the group. Fang Yuan had a realization. In the Battle of Langya, Fang Yuan saw how strong Feng Juzhe's luck was. He could not suppress the latter. If he was here, Heavenly Court would not face such troubles now. Without much danger, Fang Yuan managed to get out of the Sudden Spring River segment. Behind him, Shark Flow Lever and 3 Autumn Yellow Crane platform were already far behind. Only Eternal Yacht could barely catch up with him. It had left the Sudden Spring River segment as well. Without obstacles now, Eternal Yacht's speed rose. It reduced the distance between Fang Yuan and itself. I cannot escape like this. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with lightning. He made up his mind and stopped to face the enemy. Seeing that Fang Yuan was not escaping, Eternal Yacht's GU immortals were overjoyed, but soon, they exposed wary expressions full of alertness. Xuan Guozi shouted. Everyone, be careful, the demon is fighting instead of running. He must have some vicious plans. She had just spoken when Fang Yuan's killer move activated. Immortal killer move, Time Cutting Edge. This move was still rank 7 level, but Fang Yuan's time path Dao marks amplified it to 100 times of its power. At the same time, it was inside the River of Time. Its power rose to nearly rank 8. At once, the leader, rank 8 GU Immortal Qingyi, sensed a fatal threat. His hair was standing on ends. His heart shrunk as he quickly dodged. But Time Cutting Edge was too fast, even faster than Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword. The moment Fang Yuan used it, it had already reached Qingyi. Eternal Yacht had its defenses of course, but Time Cutting Edge was thin as paper. It easily penetrated it. Isn't this move lost in history? How can he use it? Am I going to die here? Instantly, Qingyi was filled with shock as he fell into deep despair. Let me. At the dangerous moment, Xuan Guozi jumped out, standing in front of Qingyi. Crack. Xuan Guozi's body shook intensely. She was hit by Time Cutting Edge. Her eyes stared widely as she fell down on the deck. Huff huff. Qingyi breathed roughly. He was covered in sweat, having barely kept his life. Xuan Guozi, Qing Yi's expression was pale as he showed a deeply moved expression. The other three Zunzi looked at each other with calm expressions. They thought, Xuan Guozi blocked the blade for Qing Yi and died for him, it was definitely worth it to gain the favor of this rank 8 GU Immortal. Lord Qing Yi, don't worry about it. We have a unique method to revive our sister. Shang Zunzi smiled and expressed his sincerity. But Qing Yi shook his head, showing a grim expression. I can somewhat understand the profundities behind your method. I am afraid it will not work this time. The three Zunzi were shocked. They asked, Lord, what do you mean? Please explain it to us. This is Bo Clan's killer move, it had once threatened the whole of Central Continent, it is called Time Cutting Edge. Qing Yi said with a complex expression, unable to conceal his fear. 1. What? There is such a move. The three Zunzi's expressions changed, they all started to tremble as they became fearful and panicky, no longer as calm as before. No, impossible, isn't this move gone already? Shang Zunzi shook his head, refusing to believe Qing Yi. But the truth is so, stop chasing him. Qing Yi breathed in deeply with a pale expression. Lord, the remaining rank 7 GU immortals shouted. Fang Yuan was right in front of them, it was a great chance to kill this demon, they would gain an incredible amount of contribution credits. If they let him go, they would definitely be reprimanded and punished. But Qing Yi made up his mind. Among the three immortal GU houses, Eternal Yacht is the fastest but has the weakest defense. You've all seen how Time Cutting Edge could not be blocked. If we pursue him, as long as Fang Yuan kills us one by one, he will gain this Eternal Yacht instead. Plus, even though I have a phantom aperture, you all have a lifetime of accumulation, we cannot give them all to this demon. If at this moment, other than Eternal Yacht, the other immortal GU houses were around, Qing Yi might pursue him. But right now, if they chased after him, there would not be any chance of victory. Chapter 1634, Attack and Defend. Huff, Fang Yuan let out a breath of air and suddenly opened his eyes. This was an underground cave, there were dim flames lighting the walls, creating a natural formation. Even though it was not strong, it could alert him. Fang Yuan was ambushed by Heavenly Court in the River of Time, he had fought desperately for a way out after an intense struggle. After getting away from Qing Yi and the rest, Fang Yuan followed the tributary of the River of Time and got to the outside world of Southern Border. Southern Border was the headquarters of Shadow Sect. Purple Mountain True Monarch had set up many eerie fire caves at many locations. Fang Yuan used fixed immortal travel to randomly go into one and rest, recovering from the fight. Even though he had reverse flow protection seal, he was not using it the entire time, he had to rely on winter coat. Let alone the battle with Li Huang, just during his escape, Fang Yuan was hit by the three immortal GU houses multiple times, his injuries were not light. Fang Yuan inspected his sovereign immortal body before standing up slowly. After a few days of recovery, he had already healed. Most importantly, because the sovereign immortal body had non-conflicting Dao marks, his healing effects were very effective. His rank 8 white lychee immortal essence had also increased, but it was still in the red zone. Fang Yuan paced around in the cave with his arms behind his back. While considering the situation, his frown got deeper. This time, he had suffered greatly in the River of Time. It was no exaggeration to say that he had barely survived. Fang Yuan did not feel much fear or joy, such a case was within his expectations. Heavenly Court's foundation was simply too deep. Fang Yuan's growth was simply nothing compared to the long history of Heavenly Court. With such immense foundation, they only had to put in some effort to give Fang Yuan huge problems. The battle in the River of Time was a good affirmation to this. Earlier, Fang Yuan had an advantage against Heavenly Court, it was because he sneak attacked and caught them unprepared. Because he was able to stay hidden, Heavenly Court could not do anything. Fang Yuan had always been exerting all his effort and using all his time to grow stronger and make Heavenly Court's plans fail each time. But as Heavenly Court learned more about Fang Yuan, they placed more emphasis on him. When it finally came to a frontal assault, Fang Yuan's strength was just too little. Heavenly Court was not just strong in foundation, the biggest advantage was their unified mindset. Southern Border's righteous path also had immense strength, but all of the clans were focused on their individual benefits, they could not effectively deal with Fang Yuan. But Heavenly Court had always been pressuring Fang Yuan. If not for his schemes and plots, any other demonic path GU Immortal would have been captured or killed already. As time passes, Heavenly Court's arrangements in the River of Time would get more elaborate, the chances of getting Red Lotus, true inheritance would become slimmer. Against such a strong enemy, what could Fang Yuan do? I have expended almost all of my white lychee immortal essence. Reverse flow river also has barely any water. Li Huang expended too much of it, I can't use it anymore. Unlike Danghun Mountain and Luopo Valley, which had rank 9 killer move orderly well and could be repaired using landscape as before rapidly, reverse flow river was very different. Fang Yuan did not lack the methods to restore it, but any method would incur huge costs. For the foreseeable future, Fang Yuan would not be able to use his reverse flow protection seal anymore. 1. Even without reverse flow protection seal, Fang Yuan had gotten to rank 8 and obtained Sha Cha's methods. On the whole, his strength had still risen by quite a lot. But this time, I exposed too many methods. Immemorial Year Beasts, Spring Scissors, Summer Fan, and other killer moves were exposed. They were part of Fang Yuan's plan. But the reveal of Time Cutting Edge was truly a shame. There was no choice. In that battle, if Fang Yuan did not use this method, he might have died already. But I am not without gains. Fang Yuan also managed to probe Heavenly Court's foundation. They had a mysterious method to cause the resonance of spring-autumn cicada. Fang Yuan had not expected this. But now, thinking about it, Fang Yuan could understand that the time path formation in ambush was not targeted at him, but Red Lotus, True Inheritance instead. And spring-autumn cicada was the key to opening Red Lotus, True Inheritance. How could Heavenly Court not research Red Lotus, True Inheritance using spring-autumn cicada as the starting point? Even though they could not refine spring-autumn cicada, they could mimic it to a great extent. Li Huang, Qing Yi, new rank 8 GU Immortals showed up. Heavenly Court ruled Central Continent and could take in rank 8 GU Immortals from the 10 great ancient sects as new members. From time to time, a few experienced experts would wake up from the immortal graveyard. Having been created since the remote antiquity era, all the way until now, nobody knew how deep Heavenly Court's foundation truly was. Precisely with such foundations, during the 500 years of Fang Yuan's previous life, Heavenly Court ruled Central Continent and fought against 4 other regions. For a long time, they held the advantage and even many super clans were destroyed. Perhaps because of this, even though Spectral Soul managed to defy Heaven, he did not dare to attack Heavenly Court directly, he continued to lurk and infiltrate it slowly. And those 3 immortal GU houses know, the one I destroyed earlier did not lose many immortal GU, even if they were destroyed, Heavenly Court could still refine it. I am afraid that next time, I will have to face 4 or more immortal GU houses. Rank 8 Time Path GU Immortals were not easily found, even for Heavenly Court. But Time Path Immortal GU houses could be assembled using parts of other immortal GU houses, or using immortal GU that various GU Immortals had in their possession or inventory. After assembling these Time Path Immortal GU houses, Heavenly Court could place a large number of GU Immortals from different paths inside, allowing them to seal off the entire river of time. Any plan of luring the enemy away would not work. Heavenly Court was the #1 grotto heaven in the 5 regions, there was no concerns over its safety. Even if Fang Yuan attacked Heavenly Court directly, not only would he be unable to find the entrance, even if he got in, he would incur Heavenly Court's wrath. A few rank 8 great experts from the immortal graveyard could wake up and take his life. And if Fang Yuan attacked the 10 great ancient sects, he would not be able to topple Heavenly Court's rule either, and it was extremely risky to do so. After all, they had the Wisdom Path great expert Fairy Ziwei. Fang Yuan's gaze was cold as ice. He knew clearly that to find Red Lotus, True Inheritance, he would need to face off against Heavenly Court. The more defenses Heavenly Court placed in the River of Time, the more important Red Lotus, True Inheritance was, and the greater Fang Yuan's hope to destroy Fate GU rested in it. I need to be fast. Heavenly Court had all sorts of methods, they might find Red Lotus, True Inheritance before him. Thus, he needed to get past their layers of defense into the Stone Lotus Island before Heavenly Court succeeds, and obtain the most crucial things left by Red Lotus Demon Venerable. As for what they were, Fang Yuan had no idea, even Heavenly Court might not know. Guarding the River of Time was an open scheme by Heavenly Court, because they had the tactical advantage, they were not afraid that Fang Yuan would not come. Fate GU was about to recover, Fang Yuan needed to get past Heavenly Court and obtain Red Lotus, True Inheritance to have a chance of destroying Fate. Even if he had to take huge risks, even if he had to risk his life, even though there was an ambush, he had to go. There are no special tactics or shortcuts, I need to raise my strength and continue to grow, surpassing Heavenly Court's defenses to break through these obstacles and obtain Red Lotus, True Inheritance. Once Fang Yuan achieves this goal, he would have the qualification and ability to continue challenging Heavenly Court. Chapter 1635, Logistics. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Mini Western Desert, all the surroundings were covered in a snow-white color. Fang Yuan's time path clone traveled here as he grabbed a handful of sand, looking at it. The sand particles were all clear as crystal or ice, having a feeling of coldness in them. Right now, the skies were bright and sunny. Mini Western Desert was quite a warm place, but this desert was very cool and refreshing. Fang Yuan's clone put a bit of snow-white sand into his mouth. After his saliva came into contact, it melted and gave off a salty taste. This was salt sand. In human history, salt sand had a very long story. A million years ago, during the Olden Antiquity era, even though humans created Heavenly Court, the other 4 regions were still filled with strong variant human forces. They enslaved and suppressed humanity. In Western Desert, there was a human city. It was ostracized and suppressed by the variant humans. The variant humans joined up and pretended to be bandits, robbing all of the caravans that tried to head to the human city. As time passed, the human city lacked essential resources and was slowly unable to survive. The human city lord feared for the safety of his people. He had to seek help from a variant human group, marrying his beloved daughter to them in exchange for peace. The city lord's daughter knew what was more important. For the sake of the humans in the city, she sacrificed herself. The group soon set off from the city, escorted by the human city lord himself. While traveling in the desert, they met an old man who had fainted. The old man was heavily injured and was on the verge of death. His entire body was covered in abscesses. The smell was repulsive. The city lord saw that he was a human. He quickly saved him and gave the old man some clean water. The old man woke up slowly. He said to the city lord, "Oh city lord, since you saved me, why don't you provide me some more help? Give me your robe and steed so that I can leave on my own." The city lord's subordinates started to laugh. The clothes were so precious, how could they give them to such a lowly beggar? But the city lord waved his hand. The value of a robe cannot match a person's life. "I have other clothes with me, you can have this. But my steed can only be ridden by a strong GU master. If I give it to you, I will be causing you harm." Saying so, the city lord gave his robe as well as a large amount of water and food to the old man. Next, the city lord ordered his men to bring over a mild-tempered camel to the old man. The old man sighed deeply. "City lord, I have long heard of your kind reputation. It is truly not a lie. Since you want to do a good deed, why don't you help me fully? The abscesses on my back have been troubling me for years. Only a virgin girl who was born in the yin year, yin month and yin day one can heal me by using her mouth to burst them." Just as the old man said that, the city lord's subordinates started to rebuke in anger. They wanted to kill this old man. The city lord was a little angry, because everyone knew that his daughter was a virgin girl born in the yin year, yin month and yin day. The city lord said, "Old man, stop making fun of me. Even though I am a city lord, I am also a pitiful father. I love my daughter, but I have no choice but to send her to the vicious feathermen, and let her become their slave concubine. Father, if my sacrifice can save the entire city, I will accept that fate." At this time, the city lord's daughter arrived. The clamor had drawn her attention. She understood the situation from the description of others. She walked towards the old man as she nodded. "Old sir, let me see your abscesses. You are willing to heal my injury?" The old man asked. "Yes. Even though I am the city lord's daughter and everyone says I am of noble blood, how noble can I truly be?" The city lord's daughter smiled bitterly. "Only when the entire human race is noble can our statuses truly rise. I have no hope left. I am going to be a slave concubine of the variant humans. In that case, why shouldn't I save you? We humans are too weak now. The recovery of one person is better than nothing." The city lord and the others heard her words and felt very moved. They did not stop her. The abscesses on the old man's back were ugly and disgusting. They were filled with pus and had an overbearing smell. People would want to puke upon seeing them. The city lord's daughter was slightly dazed, but she held in her disgust and used her teeth to burst the abscesses on the old man's back. Once they burst, a white-silver liquid flowed out. The liquid landed on the desert and emitted a thick fragrant smell, making the caravan group feel refreshed mentally. The old man's body vanished, only his voice was left. He said, "O city lord, you are a person worthy of my help. Humans cannot just rely on GU immortals. You GU masters are the hope of the future. I will entrust this desert to you. Make good use of it." The city lord and the rest realized at this moment, the old man was a human GU immortal. They quickly knelt on the ground. And this desert was changed by the white silver liquid, becoming the snow-white salt sand. After obtaining this huge desert, the city lord sold the salt sand as edible salt. He did not lack revenue and managed to revive his city, becoming stronger in time. Currently, salt sand was no longer a unique product of Western Desert, it was available in all 5 regions. Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture had salt sand too, he had obtained it from annexing a southern border GU Immortal's immortal aperture. After inspecting it, Fang Yuan's clone gained a deeper understanding of the desert, he returned in satisfaction. Right now in Treasure Yellow Heaven, Heavenly Court has started to sell silver dragonfish. They must have gotten the method to produce it from spectral soul. In time, golden dragonfish will also appear in the market. Fang Yuan's dragonfish business was feeling a huge impact. In the short term, because he had obtained immense market share, his dragonfish still provided huge profits. But he definitely would gradually lose his profits to Heavenly Court. But it was not a problem. After annexing the southern border immortals, the sovereign immortal aperture had gained over 10 blessed lands, and even a grotto heaven. Forget about salt sand, it was an ordinary GU material. But he gained a lot of immortal material resources, there were at least 5 to 6 resource points that could match the dragonfish business, Sha-Cha Grotto Heaven's Year Essence Pool was one of them. Thus, Fang Yuan was still earning a lot of profits, his immortal essence stones were accumulating at a faster pace than before. Due to his development in the past, he did not lack any food production for the feeding of his immortal GU. Even though he obtained some immortal GU as loot from battle, he also obtained the respective GU Immortals' immortal apertures, he completely moved their resource points over to himself. The feeding of immortal GU still has some flaws, but that is not an issue. The Time Path clone looked at the Salt Sand Desert one last time before using fixed immortal travel. 1. This Salt Sand Desert was the second last resource point that he visited. At the next moment, Fang Yuan's clone went to City Well. Inside City Well, there was already a sizable group of hairy men. These hairy men were obtained from the immortal apertures of the southern border GU Immortals, almost all of them had a certain number of hairy men raised to refine mortal GU. Hairy man slaves were the most popular ones in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Fang Yuan gathered the hairy men in all these immortal apertures and placed them into City Well to live. Currently, raising hairy men was most helpful to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan gave some Dream Path GU recipes as well as cultivation methods to these hairy men. Their task was to enter their own dream realms and gather Dream Path materials to refine Dream Path Mortal GU for Fang Yuan's use. Fang Yuan's Unravel Dream Killer move expended a lot of Dream Path Mortal GU. Earlier, Fang Yuan was exploring dream realms and used up all of his accumulated Dream Path Mortal GU. If not for these hairy men refining Dream Path Mortal GU to replenish his supply, Fang Yuan might not have been able to explore all of his dream realms. Fang Yuan's clone came to City Well as the sky turned dark, even though there was no sun or moon, it seemed to be evening currently. After Fang Yuan became rank 8, the blessed land became a grotto heaven, it had astronomical changes now. Because the sovereign immortal aperture had a lot of time path resources, the changes was very precise, almost like the 5 regions. Fang Yuan's clone was about to find out the situation of the hairy men when his body froze, a bright light flashed across his eyes, the main body has already found the location of the 5 Zhang's seal. Fang Yuan rested in his eerie fire cave for a while before leaving and going to White Heaven. His immortal aperture was well operated, the logistics were clear and orderly, he did not need to waste time in recuperating, his immortal essence storage rose continuously. He did not want to waste time, he headed to White Heaven immediately. Right now, the 5 Zhang's seal was opening, the ancient bet was undergoing again. Chapter 1636, Demon King. Immemorial White Heaven. A tall gatehouse suddenly emerged in the sky that was originally empty. The gatehouse had a tall roof and 2 statues at the side of the gate. There was a huge plaque above the gate, writing the words, 5 Zhang's Bet Entrance. The entire gatehouse seemed to be made of bronze, it radiated a majestic aura. Initially, it was only a phantom image, but as time passed, it became solid and clearer. Chi Clan had 6 GU Immortals in total, they were all standing outside the gatehouse now, waiting for it to materialize entirely. 1. The leader was an old GU Immortal, he had a thin body but strong spirits, his eyes radiated with brilliance, he stood up straight like a spear. He was Chi Clan's first Supreme Elder Chi Fa. On his left was Chi Clan's second Supreme Elder Chi Kai, he stroked his beard as he said, I have experienced many openings of the seal, but this time, I feel very impatient, I almost cannot wait. Third Supreme Elder Chi Jin laughed. This bet has been going on for thousands of years, we are finally going to end it today. As descendants of Chi Clan, we can proudly face our ancestors, we are the eventual victors of this bet. As they spoke, the gatehouse formed fully, a huge area of clouds gathered to hold up this gatehouse. The door started to shine in 5 colors, representing the strength of the 5 shangs. First, red light shined down, causing the clouds to turn bright red. This was Shui Zhang's Shui clan, because they cultivated blood path, they had been wiped out. Thus, after the red light shined around the place, it faded away. Next was yellow light. It was Kai Zhang's Kai clan, even though they had descendants, because they lived in the immortal apertures of their ancestors and did not work hard, they were living like livestock, not a single Gu immortal emerged from among them. Next, a brown light appeared. Ni Zhang's Ni clan had Gu immortals in the past, even though the numbers were small, they were all elites. Especially Ni someone deduced that his refinement path attainment level was at the point of quasi-supreme Grand Master. He was the one who fused immortal Gu into the bloodline of Ni clan members. He wanted to assist his descendants, but right now, Ni clan's villages were controlled by Qi clan, they could not win. 1. After the brown light came white light. Our turn. Qi Kai became very alert, he could not wait anymore. Let's go, Qi Fa said with a firm tone. He led the 4 Gu immortals behind him as they went to the gatehouse, bathing in the white light. The white light flickered for a moment as it got stronger, sweeping around the 5 Qi clan Gu immortals' bodies as it returned to its original intensity, continuing to shine. 1. But Qi clan's Gu immortals were all here already. Without any additional descendant of Qi Shang, the white light faded away. There was a white light spiraling above the heads of the 5 Qi clan Gu immortals. They had passed the test of the 5 Zhang's seal, they were qualified to enter for the bet. Bai clan is the last one. Qi Jin spoke, unable to conceal his nervousness. Qi clan's Gu immortals were all above the clouds, they had not entered the door yet, they were alert and looked around. They knew of the existence of Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing had inherited Bai Shang Grotto Heaven, she even learned the immortal killer move Bai Shang, displaying great power in a few battles. Heavenly Court had exposed intel on Fang Yuan, that involved the Shadow Sect members as well. Even though Bai Ningbing was not part of Shadow Sect, her information was also exposed. Even though Qi clan was secluded and did not mix with the circles of Gu immortals, they still had their collection of information regarding the outside world. Blue light shined for a while but nobody showed up, it was about to weaken and fade away. Qi Kai let out a breath of air. Good, Bai Ningbing did not show up. Our Qi Kai will definitely win. He had just spoken when 2 figures approached at a rapid speed. In the blink of an eye, they arrived in front of the gatehouse. Qi clan's Gu immortals looked over and saw a boy and a girl. The girl had silvery hair that flowed down to her waist. Her pale blue dragon eyes emitting a cold aura to the outside world. Her skin was white as snow, her expression was cold, her beauty was simply divine. And the most eye-catching thing was the pair of small coral-like dragon horns on her forehead. Seeing this female immortal, Qi clan's Gu immortals all thought of a name, Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing came after all, damn it. Who was that beside her? Qi Jin first noticed Bai Ningbing before turning his gaze towards the other Gu immortal. This Gu immortal was a young man with similarly long hair that was black and smooth, he had a sharp and tall nose, his face was extremely exquisite, his eyes were deep like the abyss, resembling the darkness that existed since the beginning of time, able to devour anything in its way. Seeing this young-looking Gu immortal, Qi Jin shook like he had been hit by lightning, his heart turned cold, he gulped as he said in a hoarse voice with great difficulty, Fang Yuan. He was already the most composed one, the Qi clan Gu immortals around him were shaking, their legs were trembling as they had sweat pouring down their foreheads. Bai Ningbing was Fang Yuan's henchman, the 5 regions Gu immortals knew that. If Bai Ningbing appeared and participated in the 5 Zhang's bet, Fang Yuan was likely to come too. Qi clan had known this and were mentally prepared for it before coming here. However, when Fang Yuan truly appeared in front of them, they found that their mental preparations were all in vain. Fear, panic, chaos, all sorts of emotions filled their hearts, they felt like they had fallen into an icy river. This was Fang Yuan, he had been reborn using spring-autumn cicada. Refining an immortal Gu on 3 Kings Mountain as immortal, snatching who immortal blessed land from the central continent 10 great ancient sects. He went to northern plains and destroyed 88 Truyong building, nobody knew how great his gains were. He inherited a true inheritance of thieving heaven and cooperated with Langya blessed land and the other variant humans, becoming a traitor of humans. He disguised as Wu Yihai and deceived Wu Yong like a fool. During the Dream Realm battle, he toyed with the entire righteous path of Southern Border and became the leader of Shadow Sect. Southern Border's righteous path chased after him and Heavenly Court hunted him, but he remained free and got stronger and stronger. At the regional wall, he fought against the rank 8 GU Immortal Thunder Ghost True Monarch as a rank 7 and pummeled her, leading to a fall in Heavenly Court's reputation. When Langya Blessed Land was invaded by Heavenly Court, he stole fixed immortal travel and left freely. Several months ago, he ambushed Southern Border's righteous path and kidnapped many Southern Border GU Immortals, extorting all the super forces. Not long ago, Heavenly Court had distributed the intel in Treasure Yellow Heaven. The battle in the River of Time had been exposed. The entire world of the 5 regions was shocked. Fang Yuan had become a rank 8 GU Immortal silently, obtaining killer moves like Spring Scissors, Summer Fan, and 5-Finger Fist Heart Sword. Most amazingly, he even had the long-lost method, Time Cutting Edge. Seeing that his intel was exposed, Fang Yuan returned the favor and exposed all of Heavenly Court's methods as well. The GU Immortal world was in a huge commotion. Heavenly Court's foundation and methods were shocking. But the scarier thing was, Fang Yuan managed to escape regardless. Heavenly Court had set up a super time path formation in the River of Time. There were multiple rank 8s and many immortal GU houses, but they could not do anything to Fang Yuan. Even though Fang Yuan lost, in fact running away like a dog, after this battle was exposed, his reputation soared and left a deep impression in everyone's hearts. Not only because of his schemes and ferocity, but also due to his opponent being Heavenly Court. It was created since the remote antiquity era. Heavenly Court, which had 3 million years of history and had withstood the multiple invasions of various demon venerables, the #1 human force created since the beginning of human history. After so long, this Heavenly Court could actually do nothing to a demonic path GU Immortal. 1. This was a really rarely seen situation. Even throughout the entire history of Heavenly Court, it was rarely seen. Countless GU Immortals and super forces were watching, waiting to see how Heavenly Court would capture Fang Yuan. How long could Fang Yuan really last? Because of all these emotions, Fang Yuan's reputation was at its peak. Rank 7 Fang Yuan could resist rank 8. Rank 8 Fang Yuan was the king of demonic immortals, shaking the world. 1. He had grown like a shooting star. The speed was simply unthinkable. This meteor was currently like the blazing sun. He was bright and dazzling. Countless people could not even look up at him. Demon King Fang Yuan. 1. Qi Clan's GU Immortals started trembling even more fiercely. Fang Yuan's mere entrance had already intimidated all these people. His demonic might was unstoppable. Chapter 1637. He cheated. Everyone, don't panic, Qi Fa said in a dry voice. His tall body was like a bamboo in the wind, wavering slightly. Nobody laughed. Qi Clan had 3 rank 7 and 2 rank 6 GU Immortals. They were not Fang Yuan's match even if they joined up. They were meat on the chopping block. They were completely defenseless. After Qi Fa spoke, he mustered his courage and continued. We have already obtained the acknowledgement of the gatehouse. We can explore that grotto heaven. We are also protected by the gatehouse. If Fang Yuan wants to kill us, he will need to pass the gatehouse, but if he destroys it, he will break the rules of the bet and would not reach the other side. Qi Fa's words calmed everyone down. Fang Yuan looked at Qi Fa with slight surprise as he smiled, praising, he is quite smart. Qi Fa's words were said to Qi Clan's GU Immortals, but was also meant for Fang Yuan. Qi Clan was able to become the eventual winner of the 5 Zhang's bet. It was not without reason. These last years, Qi Clan had developed while suppressing or enslaving the other 4 clans. They also kept a low profile and hid themselves deeply. Even Southern Border's righteous path did not know or attempt to find the 5 Zhang's treasure. This was due to Qi Clan's abilities. But no matter how amazing they were, against Fang Yuan, they were doomed to fail. Fang Yuan's smile was terrifying in their eyes. His pearly white teeth were like sharp daggers aiming at them. Fang Yuan took a look at Qi Clan's GU Immortals before looking over at Bai Ningbing. Both of them had already negotiated earlier. Bai Ningbing nodded at Fang Yuan before flying towards the gatehouse. Qi Clan's GU Immortals were slightly stirred, but they could do nothing but watch. Once Bai Ningbing entered the blue light, this icy light shook for a moment before stabilizing. Fang Yuan nodded to himself. He was afraid earlier that Bai Ningbing's Dragonman status would affect it. After all, Dragonmen were variant humans and were not traditional humans. But now, it seemed that the gatehouse only cared about Bai Ningbing's bloodline, regardless of her status as human or variant human. After a few breaths of time, Bai Ningbing gained the acknowledgement of the gatehouse and was sent up into the clouds by a formless and mild force. Qi Clan's GU Immortals had flickering gazes. They all showed a look of regret. It seems that Bai Ningbing is not under Fang Yuan's enslavement, otherwise, the gatehouse would not acknowledge her. It is a pity. Damn it, Bai Ningbing was allowed to enter the world beyond the gatehouse too. Bai Ningbing was found by old man Yan Shi last time, but she was never enslaved, all they did was cooperate. After joining Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing was not targeted by Fang Yuan's enslavement methods either. This was all due to this gatehouse. Bai Ningbing landed on the cloud and inspected the area, before saying to Fang Yuan, getting onto the clouds would be the same as getting the gatehouse's acknowledgement, GU immortals cannot fight each other here. Okay. A bright light flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes, seeing his following actions, Qi Clan's GU immortals all gasped in shock. Fang Yuan actually flew towards the blue light. The blue light flickered for a moment before stabilizing. Even though Fang Yuan was in his original appearance, he had activated Immortal Killer move Familiar Face already. He had modified this move, adding in Blood Path Immortal GU to disguise his own bloodline. Initially, he had used this against Wu Clan, disguising as Wu Yihai and mixing into the righteous path. But before Fang Yuan got happy, the 4 other lights appeared on the gatehouse. These 4 lights represented the power of the other 4 Shangs. Fang Yuan was slightly surprised. Earlier, he had allowed Bai Ningbing to enter first in order to inspect the blue light. After he flew in, he managed to deceive the blue light, but to think that the other 4 Shangs unleashed their power. Boom! The gatehouse shook. Fang Yuan was pushed out of the light by a strong force. Familiar Face cannot deceive it. Fang Yuan's heart shook slightly. Heaven surveying 5 Shangs. This strong force that had once taken leadership of Southern Border's GU Immortal world had displayed its immense power. Qi Clan's GU Immortals all sighed in huge relief, great joy appeared on their faces. Fang Yuan's actions were simply too shocking, but this result was the best for them. So close, Fang Yuan could not get in. We have hope. This way, Fang Yuan is kept outside, we only need to deal with Bai Ningbing. Her Bai Shang killer move is troublesome, but our Qi Shang true inheritance is not weak either. Fang Yuan focused as he looked at the gatehouse. Indeed, he had underestimated the gatehouse. Or rather, Shadow Sect and Bai Ningbing's information was not sufficient regarding this gatehouse. To deceive it, Familiar Face was not enough. Fang Yuan did not want Bai Ningbing to explore it alone. She was unreliable, and even if she was reliable, she could not deal with Qi Clan's GU Immortals alone. Even though Fang Yuan had encountered an obstacle earlier, his determination to get in had not wavered. Qi Shang, Bai Shang, Shui Shang, Ni Shang, Kai Shang, these are the heaven-surveying 5 Shangs. This gatehouse was created by all 5 of them, their power was fused into one. Fang Yuan went into rapid contemplation. Qi Shang, Bai Shang, Shui Shang, Ni Shang, and Kai Shang, they were in Qi Path, Ice Path, Blood Path, Earth Path, and Food Path respectively. 1. Fang Yuan had high attainment in Blood Path and Earth Path, he was confident. In terms of Food Path, even though his attainment level was not high, Fang Yuan had Spectral Soul's true inheritance, it contained the original Food Path inheritance in this world. With such a foundation, Fang Yuan had an immensely deep amount of information to work with. His Qi Path and Ice Path attainment levels were very low. But Ice Path was not a problem, he had Bai Ningbing's Bai Shang true inheritance that was used to deceive the blue light already. So, my only obstacle is Qi Zhang's power. Divine brilliance flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. Fang Yuan did not have Qi Path attainment level or sufficient Qi Path inheritances, because it was already on the decline for a long time. No issue, I have the light of wisdom. Fang Yuan wanted to use the light of wisdom to force his way through. Qi Clan's GU Immortals conversed. What is he doing? He seems to be deducing. Didn't Heavenly Court announce it? This demon has very extraordinary wisdom path methods. Hehe, it is useless, how can he deduce the 5 Zhang's arrangements in such a short time? Qi Clan's GU Immortals were very confident about this. They had tried to break the power of the 5 Shangs long ago, but they had no success. This was the failure of generations of GU Immortals that had tried time and time again. They had failed too many times against the 5 Zhang's seal, how could Fang Yuan possibly succeed? Or maybe Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods are above us. But he is simply dreaming if he wants to deduce it now. This difficulty is like deducing an unknown immortal killer move that he has just seen for the first time in battle, he needs to deduce and unravel it. He is too naive. Qi Fa shook his head, as he said that, his courage appeared again, his fear was fading. Boom! At the next moment, Fang Yuan attacked the gatehouse. The gate shook intensely, the expressions of Qi Clan's GU Immortals also changed. This. The demon attacked, he actually attacked the gatehouse. He wants to destroy the teleportation entrance, does he not want to enter? He failed the deduction so he got angry instead. Bam bam bam. As Fang Yuan attacked fiercely, the entire gatehouse started to shake. Qi Clan's GU Immortals also shook as their footing became unstable, they were like candles in the wind. Shock and fear was shown on their faces, some even began to tremble. Once the gatehouse gets destroyed, they would lose their protection, it would be up to Fang Yuan whether he wants to kill or capture them. It must hold against him. Qi Clan's GU Immortals were all praying in their hearts. Fang Yuan gradually stopped attacking. Qi Clan's GU Immortals breathed roughly, they were all wet with sweat. The feeling of almost dying was too terrible, they had never been so nervous. But eventually, the gatehouse still remained standing. The demon did not succeed, great. Qi Jin cheered, while the other Qi Clan GU Immortals had joyful expressions on their faces. Fang Yuan glanced at them as he showed a mocking smile. Oh. Why do you think I stopped? Saying so, he activated an immortal killer move. There was no flashy light or commotion, his entire body's aura underwent a profound and mystical change. Next, Fang Yuan landed and bathed in the blue light, easily gaining its acknowledgement and landing beside Bai Ningbing. Qi Clan's GU Immortals were all dumbfounded, some opened their mouths and froze like statues. Shock was expressed on their faces, some beliefs in their minds had been completely shattered by Fang Yuan's success. This demon actually succeeded. This must be a dream. How can this be? How could he succeed in such a short period of time? Qi Clan's GU Immortals felt incredibly confused, before a strong cold feeling entered their hearts. Fang Yuan's battle strength was ridiculously high, but his wisdom path attainment was even beyond the understanding of the Qi Clan GU Immortals. Such a monster made even Heavenly Court without options. How could they deal with him? Gatehouse. Oh ancestor. This Fang Yuan is an outsider, he cheated. Qi Kai screamed, his face was full of fear and also anger. But the gatehouse was silent, the five Zhang's seal started to gather power. Soon, a strong aura emerged from the gatehouse as five lights started to shine brightly. Qi Clan's GU Immortals saw this as their faces turned to despair. They knew that the gatehouse had activated not because it exposed Fang Yuan's identity, but because the teleportation was beginning. Chapter 1638. Ultimate Treasure of the Bet. The glaring light faded gradually. Fang Yuan looked around, the environment had changed, he was already inside the small world past the gatehouse. Bai Ningbing was beside him, their distance was the same as before the teleportation. Suddenly, Bai Ningbing's expression changed, mysterious information was transmitted into her mind. She looked at Fang Yuan, seeing that he was completely expressionless, she hesitated for a moment before saying, "This is a public grotto heaven, the heaven surveying five Shangs had once donated a portion of their grotto heavens each to form this place. The entire grotto heaven has 5 segments, they are not directly connected to each other, only the most central mountain range is shared among the 5. The treasure of this bet is at the center of the grotto heaven, as long as a GU Immortal is acknowledged by the gatehouse and is teleported inside here, they can go after the treasure. Along the way, the heaven surveying 5 Shangs have also set up some resources, stronger experts can try to take them away, but it is recommended that they do not take everything so as to allow the resources to grow again in the future." Bai Ningbing obtained this information, but Fang Yuan did not. It seems that even though I used the light of wisdom to deduce a killer move and disguise my identity, it was too roughly made in a rush. Fang Yuan had a deep gaze as he looked afar. This means that we are very far from Qi Clan's GU Immortals, and our areas are not connected. After disguising as a Bai Shang descendant, I can only move about in this Bai Shang Grotto Heaven region. Fang Yuan wanted to try using fixed immortal travel, but he did not know the appearance of Qi Zhang's territory. He had once killed Qi Clan's Qi Zai, but this person only became a GU Immortal in the last 1,000 years, he did not enter this place or have any memories of it. According to my experience of getting past that gatehouse's inspection, this place has a very strict level of defense, space path methods are likely to be restricted. I am afraid that even if I use fixed immortal travel, there is a low possibility of success. Fang Yuan looked at the situation now, soon, he made up his mind. Let's go to the center. The entire public grotto heaven had 5 areas, they were all connected to the center which contained the ultimate treasure of this bet. In that case, Fang Yuan would directly target it, he did not need to find Qi Clan's GU Immortals. Not only would he waste time, he might not be able to find them after all. Once they got to the mountain range, they would meet Qi Clan's GU Immortals anyway. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing flew rapidly, crossing mountains and valleys. Bai Shang cultivated ice and snow path, this area was contributed by Bai Shang Grotto Heaven, thus even though there were mountains and valleys here, they were covered in thick snow, it was a field of white. Look there, Bai Ningbing suddenly said. She was looking at a mountain. It was extremely steep and dangerous. At the peak, there were 100 ice mirror snow lotuses growing. This was a rank 6 immortal material containing ice path and wood path Dao marks. Near the snow lotus, there were many snow monsters and even desolate level snow monsters. If anyone went there and wanted to get the ice mirror snow lotuses, these snow monsters would stop them. In fact, Fang Yuan had discovered it long ago. He only took a glance before flying away with Bai Ningbing. Even though these desolate level snow monsters were not his match, Fang Yuan did not want to waste time here. He headed straight for the center of the public grotto heaven. Ice mirror snow lotus, 100 years profound ice, 1,000 years profound ice, mystical frost water, heaven craft divine jade. Along the way, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing saw many resource points. Even though they were small to mid-sized resource points, they had plentiful storage. The deeper they went, the more valuable the resource points in the grotto heaven. Of course, the beasts or plants defending them were also increasingly stronger. The 5 Shangs had specially created this arrangement to test their descendants. Even though Fang Yuan's current strength was enough to sweep through everything, he ignored these small benefits in front of him. His mind was completely on the center of the mountain range. Howling of beasts could be heard continuously as they emerged from the valleys to attack Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. They were jade frost antelopes. The large ones were huge like palaces, the small ones were the size of 3 houses, their eyes were fully jade green in color without irises. Their horns curled upwards, even without wings, they could float and travel in the air. Each time they jumped, their hooves would emit white frost that would produce a clear chiming sound. These jade frost antelopes appeared very peculiarly. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's expressions quickly changed. Fang Yuan snorted as he waved his hand, grabbing a fan that appeared out of nowhere. Immortal killer move, Summer Fan. Whoosh. Summer Fan whipped up strong winds that turned into tornadoes. They resembled winds but were actually filled with time path's power. The beasts that approached with a great momentum were engulfed by the winds and rapidly died. Their corpses fell from the sky like dumplings, crashing onto the snow and creating loud noises. This large group of jade frost antelopes died in an instant. Not just that, Fang Yuan's fan also caused the snow mountain below him to crumble, creating a huge crater filled with rocks. Fang Yuan flew down rapidly, slamming down as the rocks scattered. He looked at a huge rock wall and inspected the aura on it, his expression turning cold. There was a GU formation here that Fang Yuan destroyed. It had the style of Qi path. It seems that the restriction of 5 independent regions cannot restrict those GU immortals from Qi clan. Fang Yuan said to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing nodded. Understandable, they have already been coming here so many times, they must have a deep understanding of the place. A lot of the 5 Shangs restrictions cannot stop them anymore. This also means that our journey is not going to be smooth. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. Qi clan's GU immortals are trying to obstruct us, they must be trying to delay for time to obtain the treasure first. We will not stay here, we will move rapidly. The two continued to fly. Along the way, as Bai Ningbing had expected, many beast groups obstructed them. But these beast groups were all slaughtered easily by Fang Yuan's methods. They could barely delay his advancement. Fang Yuan's methods are truly terrifying. Our beast tides are simply thin as paper. No, he is simply killing them like killing ants. This is too scary. They are coming, they are near the central mountain range. Don't panic, there is a layer of defense at the mountain range, there is an immemorial desolate beast there. 3. The defenses were broken through. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing are arriving. Qi clan's GU immortals continued to converse. The atmosphere was tense. When Fang Yuan arrived, Qi clan's GU immortals were all panicking. Their nervousness could be felt from afar. The area that stored the treasure was very obvious. Fang Yuan could see it the moment he entered the central mountain range. At the peak of the highest mountain, there was a palace. It was decorated in the same style as the gatehouse. This was an immortal GU house. Fang Yuan successfully got into the immortal GU house. He saw that at the center of the hall, there were 5 Qi clan GU immortals sitting around the ultimate treasure. Next, his gaze turned towards the treasure of the bet. This mysterious treasure was a white crane. This white crane has 1 leg. It was covered in snow-white feathers that had no dust or dirt on it. Its long beak was red in color, its wings were tucked in as its eyes were shut tight. Fang Yuan's brows furrowed rapidly. He could tell that this white crane was extraordinary. It was not a real living being, it was also not an immortal GU, yet it emitted a rank 9 aura. Amazing. Fang Yuan laughed. So the ultimate treasure of the bet is a rank 9 killer move. Fang Yuan's laughter made the Qi clan GU immortals shudder. They were fearful and also furious. Qi clan had painstakingly protected this ultimate treasure of the five Shang's bet, but an outsider was here now trying to take it. Qi clan has already treated the treasure as their possession. Fang Yuan wanted to take it. It meant that the great animosity between Qi clan and Fang Yuan was unresolvable. Fang Yuan's gaze was cold. He did not speak. He pointed his finger as a sword light flew out, attacking a Qi clan GU Immortal. The five Qi clan GU Immortals had instilled their wills into the White Crane killer move. They did not move and allowed the sword light to approach them. At the crucial moment, the five lights of the hall shined as the sword light was dispelled soundlessly. As expected, Fang Yuan felt no surprise. This hall could gather the power of the entire public grotto heaven. It was also the place where the five Zhang seal was the strongest. With this power overseeing the area, Fang Yuan and Qi clan's GU Immortals could not fight each other. Of course, Fang Yuan could act forcefully, but he had to suppress the heaven surveying five Shang's power. He would also cause great damage to the entire public grotto heaven. No wonder Qi clan's GU Immortals are not moving. But since they have the qualification to refine this ultimate treasure, so can I. Bai Ningbing had her own thoughts. She got close to the killer move. Next, she mimicked the five GU Immortals from Qi clan as she sent her own will into it. The five Qi clan GU Immortals had nervous expressions while Bai Ningbing's body shook. She shouted to Fang Yuan, "Hurry up." Even without her reminder, Fang Yuan had already arrived beside her. He instilled his will into the killer move as he understood the entire situation. At the same time, some information originating from Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable also entered his mind. People of the future, I am Ben Jia Sun, also known as Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. When exploring the immemorial White Heaven, I by chance found a mysterious existence. It was like the heavenly spirit of a grotto heaven. It was incredibly agile. I only managed to capture it after spending a lot of effort. After researching it, I found that it was incredibly profound. It involved the deepest mysteries of this world. It corresponded with the details in the latter half of less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than. I temporarily named it the natural heavenly spirit. It could not be brought out of White Heaven or placed into one's grotto heaven. It was filled with heaven's will that was constantly replenished at all times. Even I could not use my human will to refine it forcefully. After thinking long and hard, I found a solution. I forcefully condensed it and created an immortal killer move. I called it Heaven Form. Chapter 1639. Contest over Heaven Form. Heaven Form. Fang Yuan was surprised, but soon understood what happened. Everything was clear now. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable was an otherworldly demon. He was skilled in Space Path and created Theft Path. He also had great ability in Refinement Path. His entire life was dedicated to finding a way to leave the GU Master World and return to his homeland. He was the richest Venerable. He searched for immortal materials all around the world and refined many immortal GU. He had also traveled the most, having explored almost the entire 5 regions and 2 heavens. One day when exploring White Heaven, he by chance found a mystical existence. After searching on it, he named it Natural Heavenly Spirit. Even with his demon venerable strength, he could not refine the natural heavenly spirit. It was not hard to understand this. According to Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's words, this natural heavenly spirit could not be brought out of immemorial White Heaven, and inside White Heaven, it was replenished by heaven's will endlessly. When GU Immortals refine immortal GU, they have to use their own will to get rid of the wild will in the immortal GU, eventually refining it into their tool. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable wanted to refine the natural heavenly spirit, even though the steps were different, in essence it was the same. The Demon Venerable's will was strong, but against the natural heavenly spirit filled with heaven's will, that was constantly replenished, he could not succeed. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable failed but was not dejected. Man was the spirit of all living beings. He found a method, that was to combine the heavenly spirit with other GU worms to form a rank 9 immortal killer move. This made Fang Yuan think of the ghostly concealment killer move that he had. It was also a rank 9 killer move. It was paired with divine concealment. Even though Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had used it long ago, these 2 moves still remained until now. This seemed to be a specialty of Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. The problem was, even if Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable found a way to turn the natural heavenly spirit into a rank 9 immortal killer move Heaven Form, he could not manipulate or use it. Because he did not manage to refine the natural heavenly spirit. But this was part of Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's plan. He knew that he could not refine the natural heavenly spirit in a short period of time, therefore he turned the heavenly spirit into an immortal killer move. This way, the natural heavenly spirit would be replenished with heaven's will at a far lower rate. After Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable created Heaven Form, he did not use it. Before he vanished mysteriously, he left behind many thieving heaven true inheritances. He did not forget heaven form either. Heaven form killer move has not been truly refined. I cannot complete it alone. It needs a long period of time and generations of wills to cleanse. One day, it will be truly refined by a GU Immortal. By then, it would be usable. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable also said that even though he left this killer move behind, it could not be controlled and was not a Thieving Heaven true inheritance. It needed more work from people in the future. It was only half a Thieving Heaven true inheritance. Fang Yuan could deduce the future developments himself. One day, when the Heaven Surveying 5 Shangs explored Immemorial White Heaven, they happened to find this half-Thieving Heaven true inheritance. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had said it clearly already. This rank 9 killer move could only be used by one person, because all 5 Shangs wanted it. They argued and did not manage to come to a consensus. Due to their internal conflict, their group fell apart. The 5 Shangs tried, but just the 5 of them could not refine this killer move. Eventually, they set up the bet and agreed to use this to decide the owner of the immortal killer move. Time passed mercilessly. Countless events occurred throughout the ages. Eventually, the 5 Shangs died. Generations of GU immortal descendants of the 5 Shangs appeared and disappeared. Until today, Qi clan obtained the decisive advantage, and after years of hard work by their predecessors, they were finally about to succeed. But Fang Yuan interfered. It was understandable why the Qi clan GU immortals were so furious and filled with hatred. Since the first generation of the 5 Shangs, they had worked so hard throughout the ages. Their efforts were finally about to bear fruit, and now, he was here to snatch it away. How shameless, too despicable. These emotions were the fuel that Qi clan was using to face Fang Yuan at the moment. Fang Yuan was only a rank 8 GU immortal. They believed that as long as they obtained the rank 9 killer move, they would be able to defeat Fang Yuan, or at least, make him wary of their battle strength. They would be able to negotiate. Fang Yuan came to Bai Ningbing's side as he instilled his will into the Heaven Form Killer move. Inside the Heaven Form Killer move, there was a lump of stubborn Heaven's Will that remained steady as a fortress, having the greatest defense. Below this Heaven's Will fortress were countless wills. A vast sea of wills. The bet had been undergone time and time again. A large number of GU immortals had left their wills behind. There were strong rank 8 GU immortals like the 5 Shangs. There were also rank 7 elites like Ni clan's GU immortal Nier. Such an accumulation was not strange. But what made Fang Yuan surprised was that these wills were not moving. They seemed dead like rocks, staying completely still. Only these newly entered wills were moving around like dragons, fighting above the sea of wills. 3 of the 5 GU immortal wills of Qi clan went to deal with Bai Ningbing's will. The remaining 2 attacked the Heaven's Will fortress at the top. That is the central area of the killer move Heaven Form. Whoever refines it will become the owner of Heaven Form. Demon Fang Yuan's will also came in. Persevere, we cannot relax now, we are about to succeed. This is the hard work of our Qi clan after countless years. For this moment, we have sacrificed too much. We cannot let the outsider Fang Yuan win. The Qi clan GU immortals conversed. They spurred each other on. Their morale was at its peak. Actually, they had no other choice. Fang Yuan's ruthless nature was known to all. If they did not manage to refine this rank 9 killer move, they would definitely end up in pitiful states. Without hesitation, Fang Yuan's will charged up. His will gathered into a lump and moved like a soaring dragon. The wills of 3 Qi clan GU immortals cooperated, but they could not resist Fang Yuan's fierce assault. They were retreating continuously. They were just Qi path GU immortals after all, while Fang Yuan had a huge advantage in this aspect. Persevere, regardless of the price we have to pay. We need to stall for time. Quickly attack and take down the central control area. As long as we can obtain this killer move, we might be able to kill this Supreme Demon King and eradicate him for good. We might be able to obtain a large number of venerable true inheritances. Even if we cannot stop him, we need to expend his will so that he cannot take down the Heaven's Will fortress at the top. Chapter 1640, Traitor Bai. Qi clan's GU immortals were all standing together, resisting Fang Yuan desperately and courageously while feeling anxiety, fear and panic. Fang Yuan frowned. He found that his will could not be instilled endlessly. After reaching a certain amount, he could not send any more. Furthermore, when his will was instilled, his main body could only watch as the wills fought. Thus, his vast number of wisdom path methods could not work here. Heaven Form was rank 9, while Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods were just rank 8 at best. Even if they could affect the killer move Heaven Form, Fang Yuan did not want to try them. If he triggered the counterattack of the killer move, that would be a problem. Even if there was no counterattack, destroying heaven form would also make him lose the greatest treasure here. Qi clan's GU immortals needed heaven form to deal with Fang Yuan and protect themselves. Fang Yuan also wanted heaven form greatly, because he needed more strength to deal with the obstacles from heavenly court in the river of time. Thus, both sides had to compete using the most basic form of attacking through their wills. In this regard, Fang Yuan was deeply experienced. After suffering at the hands of Mo Yao, he had practiced tirelessly to remove this weakness. It was his advantage now. Qi clan's GU immortals were not Fang Yuan's match, but they had strength in numbers. Their cumulative will was much greater than Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. As time passed, Fang Yuan's advantage grew, but he could not turn this advantage into victory. The Qi clan GU immortals were resisting him stubbornly, they were outperforming themselves. In fact, Fang Yuan still had one worry left, it was Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing had once backstabbed him, she was an unstable element in this situation. But thankfully, the Heaven's Will fortress at the top was very strong and did not waver. No matter how Qi clan's GU immortals attacked it, there were no traces of it breaking down. Fang Yuan started to feel troubled. At this rate, even if he got past or destroyed the Qi clan GU immortals' wills, he might not have enough will left to deal with the Heaven's Will at the center. Time and again, Qi clan's wills retreated while Fang Yuan's will moved like a dragon, coiling around Qi clan's wills, encircling them. Qi clan's wills were shocked. If Fang Yuan destroyed their encircled wills, they would be in deeper trouble, they would not be able to stop Fang Yuan from leaving. Thus, the wills that had just dispersed gathered together again as they charged at Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing, block them. Fang Yuan rapidly ordered. Bai Ningbing's will was like an ice wall, it stabbed into the battlefield, but it defended Qi clan's wills as it started to attack Fang Yuan. Qi clan's wills were greatly shocked. At the crucial moment, Bai Ningbing had betrayed him. Fang Yuan's will was caught off guard by Bai Ningbing, he was very angry. Qi clan's wills observed for a moment and became very happy, they attacked Fang Yuan from another direction. Fang Yuan's will continued to reduce in size, he had to give up on taking down Qi clan's wills. Bai Ningbing, you traitor, I will not forgive you. Fang Yuan's will roared, but the outcome was decided, he had to escape with his remaining will. Fang Yuan, with your personality, after getting heaven form, won't you deal with me? I am the descendant of Bai Shang, heaven form killer move is my fortuitous encounter. Ha ha ha, Bai Ningbing's will laughed maniacally. This is a great chance, after defeating you here, my entire life will become dazzling and hopeful as a result. 1. Bai Ningbing did not want to let Fang Yuan's will off, she chased after him. Fang Yuan's will could only escape. What are you all waiting for? Come and help. Bai Ningbing's will roared at Qi clan's wills. Qi clan's wills were also heavily damaged. After thinking for a bit, Qi Fa's will shouted, don't move, there might be a trap, let them fight it out. Fang Yuan's will was attacked by Bai Ningbing's will and was terribly damaged, it was much smaller than Bai Ningbing's will now. Eventually, she encircled him and fought until he was completely exterminated. To think that the demon Fang Yuan would be the first to fall. No matter how vigilant he was, he could not defend against an internal threat. Ha ha ha, this is the rise of our Qi clan, this is a great opportunity. Let's go, we must exterminate Bai Ningbing's will too. Qi clan's wills attacked again, even though Bai Ningbing's will resisted stubbornly, 2 fists could not rival 4 palms, she was eventually wiped out as well. We succeeded, heaven form is ours. Qi clan's wills were drowning in joy, now that they had no enemies left, they gathered and attacked the Heaven's Will fortress. Boom! At once, an explosion occurred at the Heaven's Will fortress, a large amount of Heaven's Will gushed out like uncaged beasts, attacking Qi clan's wills. All along, this Heaven's Will had been defensive in nature, Qi clan's wills were deceived and forgot that it could move freely. Heaven's Will's retaliation was a huge surprise to Qi clan's wills, they suffered huge losses. How can there be so much Heaven's Will? Impossible. Heaven's Will is crafty, it deceived us of its strength, I am unresigned. Quickly resist it, we cannot afford to lose. Qi clan's wills were determined and went all in. From a dangerous situation, they gradually stabilized it and eventually managed to gain the advantage over Heaven's Will. When there was little Heaven's Will left, the core was exposed, awaiting its new owner. We finally won. A moment later, Qi clan's wills were about to cry from joy. They only had a bit of will left, but Heaven's Will was finally gone. I'm afraid not. Suddenly, Fang Yuan's will appeared again. Qi clan's wills were shocked, they started shouting. You were already eliminated, right? Impossible, you already used up your will, normally, you will need 1,000 years before you can send your will in again. Did you unravel this rank 9 killer move? No, no way, this is a rank 9 killer move originating from thieving heaven demon Venerable. Fang Yuan's will snickered, but he did not explain, he attacked. Qi Clan's wills were like tiny rabbits. Fang Yuan attacked them like a fierce tiger, easily getting rid of them without much obstruction. And next, Fang Yuan's will replaced Heaven's will and went into the core area. He was the final victor. Opening his eyes, he saw the 5 Qi Clan GU immortals escaping in a panic. Fang Yuan did not stop them. This immortal GU house in public blessed land had the 5 Zhang's arrangements. They would definitely stop him if he attacked. Bai Ningbing stood by Fang Yuan's side motionlessly. She did not have any intentions of escaping. Everything that happened was part of Fang Yuan's plan. He purposely orchestrated a show, having Bai Ningbing betray him. He wanted to deceive not just Qi Clan's GU immortals, but also Heaven's will. Fang Yuan had much more experience against Heaven's will than Qi Clan's GU immortals. He deduced that Heaven's will had a lot of battle strength remaining. Even if he defeated Qi Clan's wills, he would not be the match of Heaven's will. Thus, he purposely backed off and hid away a portion of his will. Of course, Bai Ningbing's will was truly wiped out. The advantage of this was that other than tricking Qi Clan's GU immortals, he could prevent her from doing anything at the most crucial moment. The wills of Qi Clan's GU immortals were already weakened by Fang Yuan earlier. Because they were facing huge problems and pressure, they were unable to see through Fang Yuan's plot. It was difficult indeed. When wills thought about things, they would be expended. The smaller the will, the less it could think. Qi Clan's GU immortals also had to ensure that they had enough strength left to deal with Heaven's will. The outcome was as Fang Yuan predicted. He was the final winner. Heaven form was under Fang Yuan's control. At this moment, he did not inspect. He turned to look at Bai Ningbing with a deep gaze. Oh, Bai Ningbing, are you really not going to run? Fang Yuan's eyes burst out with killing intent. Bai Ningbing's value had been squeezed out. She was not like Shadow Sect's members. She was not under Fang Yuan's control. Since he obtained heaven form, it was time to settle this problem. The atmosphere was tense. Fang Yuan's killing intent was rising. They were about to fight at any moment. Evidently, Fang Yuan was not someone Bai Ningbing could defeat at the moment. Even though the killer move by Shang was a powerful move that had once terrorized Southern Border's GU Immortal world, Bai Ningbing's cultivation level was too low now. Her foundation was far weaker than Fang Yuan. If they fought, Bai Ningbing would die for sure.